Screw you, I'm not the monkey.
Sprung the kite.
Yes, another edition of Crazy Piece Podcast, in which we talk about a bunch of random shit, and we, talk about shit. Lots of shit.
Random, just
Yeah.
as hell.
Yeah, and most of the world had it coming anyway. So let's get on with this. So basically, I heard you guys talking about how we were going to be talking about Death of 2020.
Well, yeah, because I kind of said after we watched it and left our butts off at the dark comedy.
Oh,
Would you call it a
Commentary.
yeah.
Yeah, so basically what Death of 2020 was Netflix's response to 2020. At least that's what it seemed like, because we watched it like 2 or 3 times now. We watched it twice with him, and I watched it another time, just because I figured, why the fuck not? And
Right, it was good.
so was watching it, and it basically was a bunch of actors and actresses that were brought on to act as these, real actual people who did really dumb things throughout 2020. Like one lady who is inciting, she was basically inciting fights and like, what did you call it, Amber, again? Gaslighting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she was like
gaslighting the blacks.
Yeah, she was gaslighting everybody, really. It was like gaslighting people, telling them, oh, this didn't happen, and the person would be like, wait, you just said that, and she'd be like, no, I didn't.
You're full of crap. You don't have that on camera.
Why do you think I said that? You check your tapes, and like there's some stuff like that,
Ukraine's
and then
not real.
yeah, Ukraine's not real. And so there was a bunch of stuff in that Death of 2020 document.
Technically, it's not real because they keep changing their names. So
the satirical documentary had Sam Jackson playing someone, Samuel Jackson, Mace Windu.
He was playing a government worker.
Yeah, he's playing a government worker, and they were like, we're wanting to relive 2020 and have you guys all talk about it. And he's just like, why the fuck would you want to do that?
That's what caught me into the episode. I mean, the hour movie, because I'm like, okay, click, let's see what it's about. And then as soon as he said that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch the whole thing.
You're like, all right, you got me.
I'm in.
You got me. And so, yeah, so we figured we'd talk about that a little bit. We talk about more other stuff and everything like that. But yeah, it's funny because the entire hour of that entire documentary thing, it highlighted and like really isolated just how insane, like all the insanity of 2020 is. Like,
and was.
I'm still not over it. Like I still feel 2020. Like I know that it's 2021 now, but I'm just like going, it still
was
feels
only
like
a couple days ago. It still hurts.
It still feels like it, and it's the reverberations is still happening. And so it's like I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna be scarred by it. For throughout the entire 2021 is basically gonna be like a reaction to 2020.
It still hurts. What?
We heard you. You're sitting there talking off cuff, off camera to Amber, and we still heard you.
Well, of course. That was kind of I'm not gonna say it directly at the camera.
Right. But like, yeah,
that never happened.
It was even crazier is they had some lady from, I got hair in my mouth. Lady from the UK and Britain. Yeah, it is what she said.
Yeah, the redhead. That
Yeah,
they
had some chick
pretending to be a regular European.
Yeah, she basically was like talking about America as if it was a TV show, which, I mean, honestly, when you watch the news, it kind of is.
That's what it looked like. No, this is all scripted. It's all bullshit.
It's another season of
bad
2020. So it's like, yeah. So we were watching this documentary and we were just like going, "Are you fucking for real? Like this does feel like one big giant TV show." And like, there's been talk like a couple times throughout the different groups that I'm in, like whether it's a band group called Epica or whether it's some other places, people are like going, "Are we truly like living in a simulation?" Because it really feels like that.
Especially this last year, it did.
Yeah, like it really feels like a simulation because it feels like everything that you would never think would actually happen in real life is happening. Like, we can now look at that here and go, okay, say what you think might have happened, and we'll say it you say it could never happen, and I'll say it happened. And then they'll like pull up like at least 80 things, and we'll be like, nope, that was March. Nope, that was April. That was June.
That was June and July.
That was August. That ran through October.
Yeah, right.
We like, that little TV show episode where Donald Trump got COVID? Oh wait, that was actually real life.
Right.
It's like, oh, and by the way, 3 days later, he somehow found a magical cure. Oh yeah, that's also was in October. That was real life. And so it's like, it's crazy because a lot of the stuff would be considered taboo in real life, and it is taboo in real life. But yet, when you put it inside of a documentary, it feels super safe to joke about and talk about because it's put into an isolated space, and everyone thinks it's fiction, and they're like, "Oh, this has got to be exaggerated." It's like, actually, it's quite understated. It's not overstated whatsoever. So yeah, that documentary felt weird. It felt random and out of the ordinary. And it was
Well, the
dropped.
first time we
very
were
last
watching
day.
it, I just turned it on. Amber heard a few of the things. She thought it was hilarious. Then you came back in after using the facilities, and you're like, "What the hell is this? Just sit down. It's funny." And then you're like, "All right, no, I need to see it from the beginning."
Yeah, yeah. Because it's like there was a giant chunk of change of time, which I was like, I feel like I'm missing something. And then I was like watching the first like 20 minutes. I was like, no, I was definitely missing something.
Yeah, when we watched it the second time, you're like, "That's what I missed." Okay.
Yeah, and it's like it's crazy because January and February really were not as normal as we think they are. Like they were just as crazy. Like
Yeah, but they were low crazy. It wasn't super. Turn
yeah,
it to crank the volume and the craziness to 11. No, it was crazy at the almost normal. It
yeah,
wasn't a normal 2. It was more like a 4 or 6. But it
Pretty
wasn't
much.
extreme. The rest of the year, extreme. At 11. For
Exactly.
everything.
And it was like one of those things where you would honestly, like I said before, believe that everything was made up or over exaggerated, and it really wasn't. Like
That's what
February,
our grandkids
February
and our
was
kids, when they get older and don't remember 2020, be like, "No, that didn't happen like that." Like, you don't remember. You were too young.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, they'll be like, oh, so how did you handle like COVID and how'd you handle everything?
No,
It's like we
guys,
post lots of memes.
Thomas,
Right.
Thomas, it's gonna be like that one meme. We had an orange Cheeto for president. That's nice, Grandma. It's time for your meds.
Oh,
Yep.
the one that's been running around TikTok.
Yeah.
I've watched that one.
Remember that
Here,
one?
Grandma. Here's your cell phone and your bong.
Yeah. What's even funnier is there was a part where they were talking about Kamala Harris would be the second colored president on the ballot.
Yeah, right. That was priceless.
Fucking fire.
What do you mean? Dude, he's orange. He's not
Like-
white anymore.
It's like
That's
Donald
right
is
there.
far from white. He's orange.
That's spray tan.
And
Well,
it's
dude,
like,
and his shitty hair no, that's my real hair. Dude, that's a sewn-on wig. Don't even lie.
That is a
That's the only reason that thing's been sitting the same for the last freaking 15 years straight.
more
Yup.
than 15 years. He had that hairstyle back during the Little Rascals.
Oh, God, don't remind me. Shut up. Shut up.
No,
I don't want to relive
no,
that
He
year.
at least
Me-
looked semi-normal
me
back
and the
then.
kids were watching the Little Rascals the other day, and I was like, Donald Trump is in this.
She
It's funny
forgot
you
that he was
remember
in
that.
the crowd. That he was in the stands, and he's like going,
He's
"That's
the
my
rich
kid."
kid's dad.
Yeah, he's like,
That's
"That's
the
my
funny
kid,"
thing.
and he was like pointing out at the kid and everything.
God.
I was the reason Nanny bought that. We had that at the house, and all of y'all watched that.
Yeah, loser.
I remember that because I'm like, oh, Little Rascals. I know the old TV show that was in black and white. So Nanny bought us DVD because it was at the beginning of DVDs.
Yeah.
And we had a DVD of like 5 or 6 episodes, which was kind of big to have that many on a DVD at the time. And then we had the remake for the DVD that came out that year.
Yeah. It was even crazier is that there was the part at the end of the documentary. I'll skip to that part where they were like, they were having them read off a piece of paper off the back of it. And
Yeah,
they're
for
like,
when we make one for 2021.
Yeah. And it's like,
I know that's
never
gonna
would've-
happen.
it's like we never would have expected the vaccines to give us our newfound powers. And it's like, and we found out that was actually President Harris's plan all along. And everyone's like, President Harris, what about Biden? It's like, no, you don't get it. It's President
He's so
Harris.
old and ancient and about to be a ghost.
That she and
2 months in, he just disappears.
yeah, he just transformed into a force ghost.
Right?
He died of natural causes.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
naturally.
She'll get
died.
away with it too.
Yep. It's
Oh.
like he just disappears like by March, and we're just like
Eh,
wait.
we expected it.
I was like, wait, I thought 2020 was over. What again?
It's
Well, that
a
goes with the
secret
other
movie.
meme on TikTok. 2020 Part 2. We as the government, as the U.S. government, have officially sanctioned the purge. You have 12 hours to kill or do whatever the hell you want. Have fun.
And then suddenly our training powers kick in.
Yeah, right.
Powers.
X-Men.
No, there's the funny part. Are you rich enough to get it? Shut up. Steal it from the guy. I want the superpowers.
I better get healing and telekinesis.
I just want Wolverine's power. Shoot me, stupid. It ain't gonna do crap.
Yeah.
The rest I don't care about. Because if you can heal from anything, try it.
Well, then your conditions would go away too. You get in.
No,
powers
because
and
they're
healing.
pre-existing. The only thing would be is because of the way my body heals, I'd just be able to be hurt, and because it takes twice as long for me to heal, it's like Wolverine. It's not instant
Wolverine's
at
pretty
first. Well, no, it became instant after a while because I remember at the beginning
instant.
of
Yeah,
his
beginning of
powers,
the story,
it was slow.
he was slow and gradual, and then it sped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I think is going to happen if we do get powers at all, and this is just
Fun
it
throwing
was,
stuff out there.
it was 2020, so we were trained to believe that anything is possible, literally.
So
in
we
20
got proven that anything
Yeah.
is possible.
Yeah, so-
that one.
Let's say hypothetically we get powers and stuff. I think that honestly, if the powers kick in and we actually do get powers, that I think that they would be gradual, kind of like what you're talking about, because we built off a muscle. Because it'd be our body responding to a muscle.
Muscle memory.
A muscle
stuff.
memory type thing. So, like, if we get telekinesis or flight or laser eyes or whatever, and that helps start the next Revolutionary
Well,
War,
let's not talk
Civil
about laser
War.
eyes because what was it? Cyclops got laser eyes because he wore glasses. So everybody who wears glasses is gonna get laser eyes, and all of us, like me with my disability and disabilities like it, we're always hurt. We get the instant heal. So we're Cyclops. We can burn everybody, kill everything with our eyes. But the funny part is, we also have Wolverine's healing power. But the funny part is, do we get it like Sabretooth had it, or we get the claws, or do we have it like Wolverine where we grow freaking basically bone blades and I'm just going to fuck you up?
Just like, schnicked.
Nah, I'll do the one when it's, is that really you, Wolverine? I'm
He's like-
sorry, I love
He just
that.
like flips them off.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, that'd be like me.
Yeah, like no, I think that's gonna be how it's gonna go. I think that
And then they'll figure out.
the vaccine's
get-
gonna be this weird thing.
Yeah, but see, if it gives us all powers, it's what powers do you get? Do you get the powers if you're disabled and get the vaccine, and everybody else is the normal humans, not have the X gene, and we find out all the disabilities are actually X gene prees.
Yeah.
Now that we figure out how to activate you, we're gonna activate you all. All right, poke
Yeah.
me with it. I will pay, and let's put this on a payment plan. Give me my powers.
What's even funnier is I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, if we truly do get powers, or if a zombie apocalypse happens or something, I'll have to say that I will have to literally tell the wife and be like, you kept telling me over the years that I was prophetic with my writings. You didn't have to be so literal about it. Because there was like, there's a storyline that's in the story that I wrote recently where one of the characters creates a serum, and the serum gives people abilities, and it's derived from the human soul. And so people get abilities and things like that. And so if you get a vaccine distributed throughout all like the global area, and then people just start getting powers out of nowhere, I'm gonna be like, it's a little too close to creation right
But see,
now.
here's the thing: is it X-Men powers with the X gene? 'Cause
Yeah.
if it's that, then what gene is the one that's going to activate that make us all have the powers, or is it going to be kind of be like Hero Academia, where it's a quirk? Everybody's is different, and only some people, a small group, don't have powers. They're going to be the weirdos because they're normals.
Yeah. And then they're gonna try and corner everybody else who is not normal, and suddenly we're gonna have the X-Men for real.
Yeah, right. Or there's too many of us. We'll just stay in our houses. Y'all can fight amongst yourself. Just not in the neighborhood, so that way you don't blow up all of our houses.
And like suddenly people's houses just disappear because Laser Eyes comes in and just starts destroying everything, and you got entire blocks of like destruction everywhere.
See, superpowers will be bad for certain people like me, because I used to get picked on in high school. What's gonna stop me from going back and beating the crap out of all those little a-holes?
And then you find out that's the reason why the stimulus was happening. That's the reason why the Democrats wanted another $900 billion. We're all like not conceiving any of it. We're just like, why would they need $900 billion? And then Democrats, they see all the destruction and they're just looking around and everybody going, that's why we had the stimulus. By the way, it's $1 trillion to counteract all the damages.
No, the $1 trillion is for the
the cities,
Sentinel
the cities and
Sentinel
states.
program. No,
Yeah.
for the Sentinel program. Yeah, now they have robots for us who are bad guys. They'll try to take us out. The funny part is, the ones who turn into bad guys will be the ones who don't get taken out, who hide really good, and the ones who are trying to do good get effed.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you going after the superheroes, asshole? Because you destroy everything. No. The other guy destroyed everything. We're just trying to stop him. Oh, who all jumped in?
Hey guys, what are you up to tonight? Says 2 Clutch. Dookie says, if a retarded kid takes a perk, will he be normal? I'm probably off. Eric says, what's up, gang? You guys take shrooms or acid or DMT?
Yeah. No, the funny part will be the handicapped ones are the ones who are going to be the ones getting the powers, and the regular people who don't have any handicaps are going to be the normal ones.
Yeah.
That's going to be the bad part. All the handicaps that everybody's been making fun of for years are going to be having the superpowers, and then it's like, yeah, make fun of me now.
Right. To answer your first question, we're doing this podcast tonight. That's what we're up to. Second question, for retarded kid takes a perk, will he be normal?
That's kind of what I just answered.
That's kind of what he just answered. And then what's up, gang? You guys take shrooms, DMT, or acid? Nope, we
Nope.
don't. We don't take any of that stuff. We try to stay off the hardcore
We
shit.
kind of.
We may be crazies,
fly
but we're
low.
crazies in a different way.
We're natural crazies. That's why our superpowers are going to be mental. We're going to have
Yeah.
telekinesis and stuff.
Yeah, and that's gonna be one of the abilities I hope to inherit is telekinesis and healing. That'd be great.
But
then
see,
you
healing
just
is
heal.
technically a telekinesis power. You're just
Really?
controlling your body
That's true.
and telling your
Because the
atoms and
object is your
genes
skin.
to auto heal. Yeah.
Yeah, your skin. You're telling your skin. You're just like, move, bitch.
Instant heal, jackass. I ain't got time for this.
Yep.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, Wolverine, with the telekinesis because of healing power, he lives 2 to 3 times as long as a normal human. Maybe even 4 times, because I think he dies in the comics, depending on which comic you go with. Because if you go with some of the Wolverine comics, he lives to like the year 3000.
Yeah, something like that.
And then when they changed it and put the girl that's his clone daughter, he only lives to like 2000, or is it 2100 or 2200?
It was something like that. There was the Old Man Logan storyline. Then there's the alternate world storyline where
There's so many
where
different
there's
ones.
so many different alternate world Logans and Wolverines. That was actually there's a meme I found on the internet while I was on the shitter. Late. While I was in the shitter, I was reading up a thing, and they were like making up different versions of Wolverine. And the very end of the meme, or the very end of the thread, it was like, what if this is Magneto staying up way too late at night, and he's writing up all these little alternate world versions of Logan and the X-Men, and then he just turns off the phone, goes to sleep, and rolls over. And we find the relics. These are all the old records of Magneto recounting events that have happened in his life.
And how many different ways it could have happened. Cool.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna read it out actually. I'm gonna go to the post because I posted it just a couple
You
of minutes ago.
reposted it?
Yeah, I said, supervillains fucking hate fighting the X-Men because the teams change constantly and sometimes there are totally new people there. Fuck, there's a teenager who literally just has eyes all over his body. Is he even technically a superhero yet, or is he a student? Who the fuck knows? How do we counter this shit? When one seems completely non-mutated and they're like, and then like the guy's holding his cups and he's just like,
Oh.
yeah, and no matter which team it is, Wolverine is there. Is it the future? Wolverine is there. Is it an alternate reality? Wolverine is there. Is Wolverine dead? Wolverine is there. Was Wolverine never born in this alternate reality? Wolverine is there. Does Wolverine only exist as a non-corporeal spirit? Wolverine is there. Is Wolverine only a philosophical construct used to explain our place in an uncanny universe? Wolverine is there. Is Wolverine only a theological concept used to explain mankind's struggle against the universe? Wolverine is there. Is Wolverine there? Another Wolverine is also there. And let's not forget, when the villains just switch sides. Last week, this guy was on your side. Now he's next to Wolverine and kicking your ass. The only constant is Wolverine. There are
Right?
3 constants in life. Death, taxes, and Wolverine. This entire thread sounds like Magneto woke up at 3 a.m., wrote the whole thing with his eyes closed, and then rolled over and went back to sleep.
That's the truth, though. I mean, he is everywhere. He's been in X Factor. and like 5 or 6 other in the same universe, but not exactly the same things.
Yes.
Weapon X, X Factor, which was the X-Men in Canada sort of version, and a couple, I don't remember what the name of it is, but it was like a faction in Russia, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the other ones, but I mean, he's been in almost every group. He's a bad guy, he's a good guy. No, he's an anti-superhero. Fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna smoke my cigar and just hold it and basically dip without dipping.
Yeah, he literally just
Which he
always
does
has that
90%
cigar in
of
his
the
mouth.
comics. Well, half of me he's smoking, and the other half he's just holding it in like it's a freaking bullshit dip. Because he doesn't want to put it in his lips, so
His
he's just holding
pacifier.
it in there. Yeah.
It's his pacifier. He tries to keep himself screaming from his internal struggle of life by putting his pacifier in his mouth.
Uh-huh.
He's just like...
But when he spits it up, you fucked, because
Yeah.
he'll kill you.
Like a lot of times, and that's true though, because every time he has the pacifier in his mouth, he'll hold it in his mouth, and then when someone pisses him off, he'll be like, "Hey, Bob, sneaked."
It's the truth.
Yeah, it's usually always followed with a "Hey, Bob, snicked," and it's even in the comic. I always read the comic when I was like 9 years old. I was like reading it, and I'm just getting through it. And I was getting excited because I saw Wolverine, and I was reading it, and then I saw like
I remember the
the frame was like, "Hey, Bob," and then like the next panel was just his hand with his claws popping out, and I'm just like going, "Whoa."
Well, I got into because my first cartoons anime was watching. Really? Is it not plugged in?
I don't know. I just know that.
Double check. Scroll down on the screen.
Yeah, it says it's not charging.
Double check the plug. Resume. Okay, we got stopped for a second. Sorry, we got stopped. Phone issues. Make sure it's plugged in all the way, or make sure that thing's on. Well, it says it's in.
Says it's
Unplug, replug it in. Can't check it without scrolling down.
Yeah, it's charging now.
Okay. No, hit the home screen. Home
What?
button.
Hold on, technical difficulties.
Now scroll up. No. Okay, scroll back the other way. No. Now up.
There we go. And we're back.
Sorry,
Sorry.
technical difficulties with the phone.
Yep.
There's
Okay.
one that doesn't end up being like 3 streams in one. It's like, damn it. I'll have to look at that after we're done. After we get home
You're like,
in the
hey,
morning.
sorry, the plug was being weird and a bitch, and yeah.
Technical difficulties with bullshit on charging the phone while we're streaming.
Thank you, viewer, for sticking around, whoever you are.
Yes.
The
Did it
one
actually
viewer.
show one?
Yeah, there was 2 earlier, and then it dropped back down to 1. And
I can't see the number. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like on the little bit
Yeah, I see it now.
left-hand corner.
Thank you for hanging out. We're just being goofballs.
We appreciate you.
And
we're
on my
talking about-
YouTube channel is Dark Thandar.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is technically Thomas Paxton, but it's also Petrov of 91, I think. Don't remember exactly.
Look it up on your phone real quick while we're talking about it, so that way they know where to look. Because this is I either am going to download it from Twitch onto my computer and put this stream on YouTube, or I'll come back to my sister's place, this place, and get the recorded one, and y'all will be able to watch it with the background we have for the green screen that y'all can see on the Twitch stream, because I don't have a laptop yet. Give me a couple more months, I'll get a laptop. You won't be over there, you'll be over here, where you can't see currently, sitting on the shelf, pointing at us from a different angle with the different green screen. Well, we're going to make it a blue screen, but we got it
Yeah,
from here.
it's under the name Thomas Paxton. You'll find it on there.
You'll have to search through it, because there's a few things with his last name on it that I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah,
Your name's famous and you didn't even know it.
right? I was thinking,
Like that one religious author.
yeah, the one religious guy who is like, I got called by a guy in New York. Funny story. I got called by a guy in New York. I'm sitting there doing floor support for my job. And I got called by a guy in New York. And I answered the phone because last time I answered the phone from New York, it was some dude who had the wrong number. And so I helped the guy get a job. And then, the guy calls me and I answer it and I go, hello. And then the guy literally asked me like 17 times, did you write to pray is a way, is to vote is a way, and it's like, and he asked me if I'm Thomas B. Paxton, and I'm like, no, that's not me. You got the wrong guy.
Wrong
And then-
middle name, homie.
Right, and then like he keeps asking me over and over again, and like at first I thought he was just bullshitting me. Like I thought he was just like a prank caller or someone that was trying to get my information. I was like, I'm not gonna give you my social. And the guy like literally goes, no, did you write to praise away to vote away? And he just kept asking it over and over again, like 17 different ways. And I eventually was just like, okay, I'm gonna look up this book. So I looked it up and I was like, well, first of all, the cover sucks. And the guy was just like, going, well, so you didn't write this book? And I'm like, no, I've already told you like 17 times already that I didn't write this book. And I'm like, I would have chosen a different cover, different title. And why the hell is this guy? Why did this guy do it this way? And the guy was just like, it seemed like he was going through a massive crisis at that moment because it really seemed like he really loved the book and really loved what the guy did with the story. And here I am, the other Thomas Paxton, that's totally destroying the other guy's work and just being like, I'm going to take a knife to your heart. And so like I'm just brutally myrtleizing this guy and like his work, and then the other guy who's like this massive fan. It's like I read a Harry Potter book and then had some dude totally trash Harry Potter right in front of me. It's essentially what it was like. And so I was there and I was listening to him talk. And then he finally like no, this was when I was like 11.
Oh,
If I've been reading the first book from Harry Potter and I'm getting heavily into it, and then some dude is like, "That's stupid, orphan." And so like,
let's see. That's Luke. That's Harry Potter. Let's see. Who else is that?
a lot of the characters. Technically,
15%
Well,
of
Luke
freaking
was an
half the
orphan.
books have gotten famous in the last
Luke
20
didn't
years.
become an orphan until the very end of the first trilogy. Ironically, after he beat his father, that's when he became an orphan. But like, I was sitting and I was
Well, as far as he was
The
concerned,
guy-
and everybody else told him he was an orphan from the very beginning. He didn't find out till the second movie.
yeah, and the crazy part is that
Second movie.
my wife, he calls Amber, calls her sister on the phone. After he gets off the phone with me, he goes, "Okay, well, I'll talk. Have a good day. Best blessings." And I'm like, "Yeah, you too." And then I hang up with the guy, and not even 5 minutes later, he calls up Amber's phone, and Amber's like, "Hello," and he's like, "Do you know Thomas B. Paxton?" And she's like, "Yeah, you
Just
were
called my
literally
sister."
just called. I'm literally sitting right next to him. You called him like 5 minutes ago," and so she spends like the next 10 minutes trying to convince her to let her talk to me. And to ask who Thomas B. Paxton is, and the whole time I'm like, does he not get the hint? Like,
Wrong people.
does
homie.
this guy like not
No,
understand
he
what I'm
just
talking
did a
about?
background check on Thomas Paxton and just happened to find your ass and your phone number.
Right. It was weird because we're telling him over and over again in our 17 different ways that that's not me, and this guy is dead set on talking to this Thomas B. Paxton. So I probably just
I
shattered.
wonder
his
if the
dreams.
guy had it was a bounty hunter looking for the actual guy because he had something on his record and just found you by chance.
He's from a publishing house.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
from,
really?
Yeah, he's from a publishing house. He was trying to get a hold of the guy, and I was like, that isn't me. I didn't write that. I could have taken credit for it and everything, but nah.
No, that's not me. I'm writing a book currently. Talk to me in 10 years when I'm done.
No, I was telling him like, well, I wrote about the devil and Jesus. Does that count? And like, I was talking about like dark fantasy stuff, and he had no interest in that. He just wanted to talk about this guy who was about religious voting. Like it was literally wanting
Religious
to talk.
voting?
Yeah, like he brought that up. It was like, and at first I thought that I
Okay.
was like, I thought I'd misheard him,
Well,
but
no, I heard what
he
that
really
was.
like was interested in the concept of like could combine a church and state. And I'm like, that's your country right now, right?
Dude, that's the funny part is combining religion and state. You know what we got taught in the 80s? That's a bad thing. And now with thank you for voting me for president. I'm in the church like the last dumbass. It's like, no, dude, you don't do that just because you got into office. You're supposed to either be it or not.
Yeah.
Because everybody's big thing before, what was his name? The one that got shot.
Kennedy.
Yeah, and they're like, the guy on the hill.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. What?
Bullshit, they all die. Weirdly and
That's-
mysteriously.
It's a meme from a cartoon.
No, I know. But the thing is that. God damn it, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Kennedy,
Government,
church and state,
how
religious
it-
voting.
Church and state. He was the first president that was a Catholic, and everybody was worried about it because we weren't supposed to mix church and state. Because that's always been one of our rules. You don't mix them. And when he became president, it's like, oh my crap, he's a big Catholic.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's worried about. Now, if you don't say you're a Christian or any religion, they're like, I'm not voting for you. You're not fucking real. It's like, dude, It's politics. That's not as that's
I
supposed to have
find that-
nothing to do with freaking religion.
I find that horrifically ironic, and you know why? Because my religious family is all about this Trump guy, and Biden himself is Catholic.
Right?
He even points it out in his speech. He's like, "I am a renowned Catholic," and he like goes on about it. And I was just,
Yeah,
and I'm like
funny
watching
part
this, and
is,
I'm like,
that's supposed to
"He
be
just
the
said he
reason
believed in
you
God."
you're not supposed to vote for them because they're religious. It's like, okay, you're religious, no big deal.
Yeah, like I was literally watching the whole
But
speech.
since
and I looked at
Kennedy,
Amber, and I
that's
was like,
been like, no, we need a religious president because look how good Kennedy did.
well, like,
It's like,
correct me if I'm
dude,
wrong, but
half the idiots you voted in are doing shit ass backwards since that motherfucker.
I was like, I feel like he shot himself in the foot for being a Democrat, but at the same time, he just admitted to being Catholic on live TV, and my religious side of the family is still not gonna like this guy, just because he's Democrat, because he's blue.
But see, there's the
Hit the wrong
part,
side.
which is one of my original reasons for wanting to run for office. We need to take
Right.
out the blue, take out the red. We're all just freaking. Okay, we're all purple.
Well,
Fuck it.
see, and that's what I like about the Biden guy is he was like telling everybody, he's like, I won't be a Democrat president, I won't be a Republican president, I'm gonna be American president.
Right.
That's how I'm gonna rule. Like I'm gonna govern and everything. And I'm just like going, hey, that's cool. That's awesome. I can get behind that. The last guy said he was gonna do that, but he was mostly just red. Well, whatever.
Really, is that? Oh my goodness!
What?
Look at my yellow shirt on the recording.
Yeah. What about it? It's all swirly.
No.
Looks like
Where
it's
is it?
fucking see through.
Look right
Like,
there.
yeah, like, I
it's Yoda's foot.
Yeah, like I can see. Yeah.
Yoda's foot's all in
You're
the middle
fucking-
of Superman's.
Refracting onto
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's like your
with the
fucking
yellow,
chest
it's
is-
bleeding through.
Yeah, your chest has fucking disappeared. Like holy shit.
I am so badass. Yoda is coming through.
You're
Look,
like see
there he
through.
is.
You're a force ghost already.
No, that'll be awesome putting this on YouTube. They'll be like, wait, what?
Right.
Because I pointed out, don't notice.
Yeah, like you're a force ghost. You've already transcended space and time.
That's why my glasses are doing what they're doing in the recording.
It's like
I'm
elect
not
him as
really
governor,
weird.
and he will transcend the force.
I already am because I don't believe in good or evil on both.
Right.
Like the first, well, supposed to be the first one in the timeline, but they've made it what is it? In the Star Wars thing, it's Legends.
Yeah, Star
The-
Wars
the-
Legend EU.
Yeah, the I can't remember the name of the book now, but
Well,
they're the
there's-
Jedi, not the Jedi.
Yeah, it's one of the Force
Because
holocron
it's-
books.
It's no, we're not all light, we're not all dark. We do it exactly in the middle because you got to know where the center line is, which was supposed to be the whole thing with supposed to be Anakin, and then it became Luke. That no, you're supposed to do both,
Yep.
and it's like that's me. That's how I see stuff. It's either 100% black, 100% white. No, everything's gray, dude. You just have to see it that way. Because when you pick one side and stay with just one side, you're missing a whole nother point of view, one. And two, you're going to piss off half the population of the world or your damn country. So why do that? Why can't we just do both?
Yep.
Which, in my opinion, is not independent. It's not Republican. It's not Democrat. It's no. We need to quit putting the names on it. I am me. This is what I believe in. This is how I see the world. You like it or you don't. You like it, you vote me in. You don't vote for me, vote for the other a-hole. If there's nobody else, don't vote for anything for that office.
Yeah. Which is funny because we've had like this. It's kind of how America runs anyway. But
Well,
at the
they
same
even talk
time,
about
like,
that on the death of 2020. That's why I brought
Yeah.
it up, because they're talking about, what was it, the actor that was pretending to be the British historian.
Yeah, the British
It's
historian
like-
dude.
Dude, it's either one side or the other. Like the black comedian who said, yeah, you have to pick one side or the other. Because that's the way the world works. Which is complete BS, because that's how the world works, and everybody fights over one thing or the other. And like the historian, the actor who was pretending to be the historian made the comment, yeah, well, guess what? You can't agree to disagree, and you can't agree that you disagree on anything, so you're all full of shit.
Yeah.
It's pick a side, or no, I believe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And then everybody hates you because, well, you got to pick a side. No, I don't. Screw that. And that's how I've always run my crap, because, no, there's nothing wrong with Satan. He has his job. His job is to run hell and punish the people who are stupid and did stuff, because natural man is against God and complete evil.
Yep. To a point. Yeah. It's all
rape,
subjective.
murder, and I'm sorry, those two alone, which are
Those
natural
two,
humans.
those two are not subjective. Like,
Well, no, but I mean
rape is
that's the
definitely not
natural.
subjective.
You have to have some control over yourself, which is
Yeah.
supposed to be free will. But the free will is don't do it.
Yeah, even Satan hates rape shit. Like, you read the Satanic Bible, which is funny because my family hates that crap. But if
see,
you
if you
read it and everything, one of the top 10 things, like how God has the 10 Commandments,
yeah,
the top one of that book is don't impose,
don't kill, don't rape,
don't impose your own like stuff. Like it all has to be
your own
equal.
BS on other
Yeah,
people.
don't impose it on other people, and don't like sexually interact with someone who's unwilling. Is essentially what it says.
Yeah,
And so that
because
thing
if it's
you're talking
willing,
about
it's
just now is
perfectly good and
beyond-
go for it.
yeah, it's something that's a big no-no even in that world.
Well, that's like the whole marriage thing. Should you or shouldn't you? It's like, dude, no, it's called polyamorous. You like who you like. When you want me, you'll come fuck me. But if I don't want you, I'm gonna go bang somebody else. Got it? Good. That's how we're running this shit.
To a point, it's how humanity's always been. They just
Well, the bad
throw
part
it,
is
really just tag on
marriage.
it.
You bang somebody else, she's gonna sue you and get all your shit and tell you to fuck off and keep the kids. It's like, whoa, hold up. She wasn't banging him. She kept yelling at him that he's a piece of shit, don't do nothing except for make money to pay for all the bills, but yet that's how society's bred us and taught us. The man's supposed to do it all, and then when women start, no, we're gonna work too, it's like, well, then don't yell at me when I don't do everything on your list,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't yell at you for not doing everything on my list. You do you, I'll do me, and if we decide to do each other, hey, we'll have fun.
It's like, would us like to live deliciously?
We live in the same house, but I'm banging this guy because fuck you, I'm pissed at you right now. Well, that's cool, I'm gonna bang his wife while you're banging him.
Yeah, it's funny. You remember that movie, The Witch?
Yes.
That's what I was quoting. I was quoting Black
Oh,
Phillip.
okay.
Would dost like to live? That would thou
Thou
dost
like to live.
thou dost like to live deliciously. And I was
Okay.
funny as I used a version of that line in the book that I wrote, and I let Beazel say that line because it was funny because it made sense that the serpent had said that line to somebody else, and the reader would be like, "Oh," and because the people have their own conceived notions of what the devil is.
And
I was like
somebody
going,
write something
"Yep."
new?
You
Nope.
guys, no, they
No.
that's nothing new. That's something
Well,
I said
I
earlier.
heard a buzz, so that's why I looked.
No,
to
that
see.
was
Oh, was that your phone?
that was my phone. being
I
weird.
heard a buzz, that's why I'm just checking the phone.
Yeah, that's yeah. No, it's funny because it's like people have their own they have their own like idea viewpoint of what the devil is. And so when I was writing the story, I wrote the devil as the devil himself as a character. Like I wrote Beelzebub as himself, but I kept in mind that the devil is going to be seen as the devil anyway, and I kept in mind that some of them are going to really like him, some of them are going to downright hate him just on principle, the fact that he's the devil, and other people are going to be like, oh, I kind of am divided, or he's funny, or he has cool, awesome lines, and so I wrote it in that respect of the fact that I kind of like took the devil from the show Reaper. Lucifer from Supernatural, and then Lucifer on Lucifer, Tom Ellis's version.
I like that one.
And I merged them all together into one pretty little package and called him Beelzebub, Peter's grandfather. And so I felt like it kind of worked because I was able to play around with this mythical
back in the
figure.
religions, Beelzebub is supposed to be Satan's name or the guy who's above Satan, depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah.
Because I've never gotten or been able to get a satanic Bible. I would love to get one because I want to get that, the Quran, what's the Hindu one? Buddha and that?
Yeah, the Quran. That's the Muslim.
No, that's not the Quran.
That's the Muslim
Quran's
Bible.
the Muslim. Yeah, it's the other one, the bigger or...
I
Somebody will
like
write it somewhere for me.
I feel like I could totally cheat on this.
Go for it, dude.
What's it called? What are we describing? The Muslim Bible or the Hindu?
Hinduism Bible.
Hindu Bible. Sanskrit, and it's called the Vedas.
Okay.
The Holy Vedas. I think I'm saying that completely wrong, but it says Vedas
Probably.
or Vedas. Well,
There's another one that goes along with that. That's
Vedas or Vedas or Vedas, but I'm like, I figure I'm gonna like put a weird pronunciation.
Vedas.
Just call it Vedas or Vedas,
Yeah.
It's a strong V or something.
But I mean, I've
There you go.
Because it's not an English
it's called.
translation, so you have to try to put it in English translation, which kind of screws up the book. But I had it like 2-3 phones back. I had it on there, and I was having it read to me, and I was having the Quran read to me. And I do one day, one the other. Look at the Bible, look at the Book of Mormon, look at the only one I couldn't find to download, so that way I could read it, was the Satanist Bible.
Satanic.
Yeah, that-
Satanic Bible. Thank you.
Yeah.
Phrased that wrong.
Anton something something something.
I can't remember his name. But I mean, I want to have all the books in physical copy, translated. But nowadays you can't get them all. I mean, even looking for them on Amazon, it's like you can't find that. But
Oh,
I've heard
Anton-
stuff from people
Anton
who've
LaVey.
read the Satanist Bible. It's like, yeah, no, the only difference between you Christians and the Satanists is your rituals don't actually give you the spirit you're summoning because you don't do it right and you don't give them the right sacrifice or, thing they want, so that way they come forth. That's why half of your gods that you call angels and the guy you call in charge God don't actually come down and do anything for you because you're not doing the damn ceremonies, your rituals right,
Yeah.
and you don't believe it's another god or whatnot. No, it's just angels. No, it's just this. No, because you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You're not actually worshiping or doing the rituals right because you've changed it and you sold half of them from the pagans and changed the name from their gods to angels.
Yeah.
Because if you go from the Christian, God in the Old Testament is Jesus being taught how to be a god.
Mm-hmm.
In the New Testament is God the Father. But the original human, Adam, was which archangel? One of you two will know.
Which archangel?
You
You got Michael, you got Lucifer, you got.
Well, no, I think it was
Raphael.
Michael or
Yeah.
Gabriel. No, it was Michael, who was supposed to be the one who was Adam
Okay.
while he was here on Earth. And the funny part is, if you look at the beginning of the Bible, they lived for almost 1,000 years. Because it said in the Bible that you will live for a day and then die.
Right.
After you've become basically mortal, eating the fruit of the tree of
Tree
knowledge.
Of life, tree of knowledge.
But the funny part is, when they ate the tree of knowledge, they got God's knowledge, which was being naked's bad. Before that, they're like, we're children, fuck it, we're naked. But it also says, it makes phrases in there, because I've watched all these TV shows over the years that they put on the History and Discovery Channel growing up about, but the funny part is, once they do that, it also basically says that they're able to have kids now. So what's the rule? Because they weren't able to beforehand, because beforehand they were children.
Yeah.
After they ate it, they basically hit puberty.
They have puberty like right in there. Like
Yeah.
balls dropped, her vagina got wet, that sort of thing.
Oh, she started bleeding, but yeah. Should have. But but I mean, from a physiological point of view, it's the Cro-Magnon man compared to Homo sapien. That's what changed it. Because who did Cain after he killed Abel? He married one of the creatures that were like him, Homo sapiens, which was what? The Cro-Magnon man. That's why we're all have part Cro-Magnon in us, because the bloodlines got so mixed, and basically any royalty and any money or anything wasn't part of Adam, Eve. It was part of Cain going out, screwing the other human-like thing, and creating our race.
Yep.
Because we didn't come from Adam and Eve, but we did because Cain is basically everybody's ancestors. If you want to look at it hard enough, because everybody comes from the Middle East, technically all the black people are freaking come from Adam and Eve's other kids.
Yeah.
So we're the evil ones. How will you know? All of your children will have a certain way. Yeah, we're all white.
Yeah.
And a lot of white people hate that. That's like, no, Jesus was white. Motherfucker, he lived in the Middle East. Nigga was tan.
As you can tell, Tim don't give no fucks, and
No.
you don't hear anything about politics. You'll hear everything about religion. Basically, every little trinity you know about workplaces, he will just like
I'll
Like,
kill it.
he'll
That's
kick
like,
the door down and bust his way and go, "What's up, motherfucker?"
well, that's like the whole thing that I've heard from Catholics and stuff, well, you're not really alive and you can't be a spirit until you've been born. It's like, bullshit. Then how do you explain God? Oh, wait, I know the explanation for God. God's an alien. He got births on another planet. He got so powerful, he decided to create Earth, and let's see what we can do. Let's watch this TV show of all these crazies doing stupid stuff.
Yep.
We're basically God's TV show. This is God's ABC, mother effers. Deal with it, and guess what? He likes our TV shows, and he's the guy that when you die, he gets to say, yes, I liked your TV show, your episode, and whatnot, or no, I didn't, so you're going to hell. Go hang out with my son who's going to torture you to all until the end of time. Have fun!
What's really funny is if someone dies, they go to hell, and it's essentially just their life all over again, just with all their regrets enhanced.
Oh, like Lucifer?
Yeah,
You're
kinda
gonna live
like
your
that.
regrets?
Yeah,
But see,
I
if you're
feel
somebody
that
like me,
show's
you
pretty on
regret nothing. Oh, crap, I did that. Oh, well, it was a stupid decision. Move
point.
on.
Yeah.
So by that dynamic, I'm not going to hell. But also by that dynamic, your hell might be my heaven. My heaven might be your hell. Because everybody's hell and everybody's heaven is completely different. So you being in hell might be me being in heaven and torturing the shit out of you. Because as far as you know, that's my heaven. Yeah, and vice versa. Or my
Interesting
heaven's
concept.
banging a million bitches and not giving two shits. I mean, everybody's is different.
Yeah.
That's like the whole Mormons got it right. No, Buddhists got it right. No, Hindus got it right. No, Muslims got it right. No. You know what? We'll find out in the end. And you're not going to know till you're dead. And when you're dead, you're not going to be able to come back and tell us. Because if you try, then you're not all the way dead and you haven't passed on and moved on to the next stage.
Yep.
Which is another part of life. Life when you're living. No, life. Before you got birthed, your pre-life or pre-existence as a human body, your life, your human body being scientifically and magically through God and whatnot, his powers, attaching it to the body, and you don't remember anything before because when you get, it's a reset computer. You don't know what the hell happened previously on this hard drive because it's a blank hard drive. So you
Yep.
can't read the files that are already there that you lived for 1,000 years, millions of years with God hanging out, watching all this stupidity and not wanting to repeat it on Earth. And then when you die, it's like, now I remember everything. Why the hell did I do all that crap in my life? I'm going to watch these idiots do stupid stuff, or I'm going to move on and go to the next step. It's an afterlife because it's still part of your life. It's just the next step. Everything's part of life.
He's got
Before,
like this-
during, and after.
He's got like these intense theological concepts in his head of how he thinks the world works. Just so you know.
The world, this is how everything works.
But yeah, like, no, it's funny. I'm like listening to him talk about it, and I'm like going, it's kind of like all these fiction shows, and it's kind of like all these people that talk at these little big temples and whatnot. Like some of them are following the script and are just saying what everyone else has already said, and then some of them have like these interesting takes
Viewpoints.
and viewpoints on how everything works, and it's very interesting how it all plays out because some of it sounds like it could be really on point, and some of it sounds like absolute bullshit. It's like you have to
I don't care if I sound like
basically-
bullshit. I know what
basically
I
have-
believe.
yeah, basically figure out what is really there. And that's the thing is he wants to actually start a church, by the way, like have his own little church. And I like was
It
listening
is
to him
all
talk about it.
religions in one, and at the same time, it is no religion.
Yeah,
You worship who you want to worship. If you don't like the Christian beliefs, but you want to worship the pagan gods, okay, we got that over here on this side of the complex. Oh, you just want to worship the Christian god. Okay, you're over here. You want to worship the Christian god and the pagans? Okay, you guys are over there. You don't want to worship any god. You just don't want to go. You just want to believe that after you're dead, that's the end of it. Okay, you're back here in this group. Everybody's welcome. Worship how you want. We'll all have different groups for different things. Pagans. Okay, which pagans? You got Native American. You got Celtic. You got Viking. You have the ones that are the new ones for America who've changed everything, but yet still try to use the old ones. The damn complex is going to be gigantic, but the funny part is it's going to be the whole country because I'm going to have everybody in their own groups, so that way
Yeah.
there's not killings, there's not stupidities, and there's not craziness. Oh, murderers? No. You guys are living in Alaska because freeze. Rapists? Cool, you get Hawaii because you might be killed by the volcano. Have fun!
So basically, what you're saying is that my birthplace, my origin, is their death. is their destruction. So basically, where I was born is where all rapists go to die. Is what you're saying?
Do it.
Why not? I mean, because we have too many jails in the system. Okay, you stole. Why did you steal? Because I wanted it. Okay, you're an asshole. You're just going here. You're gonna get reprogrammed or have your brain analyzed, and then we'll give you the psychological help you need, or give
Yeah.
you the pills that you need, or we'll figure out if you don't want to take pills, we'll figure out like the natural oils, like everybody's been real big on in the last 10 years.
Yeah, 10, 15, 20 years.
Well, no, it became, okay, 15 years ago is when it started, but it became really popular in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, super, super popular. But the thing is, it's the, well, go take care of them. Because we're on camera, you're not.
Hang on.
But,
Lay down on the couch. I'm coming.
the funny part is, it's everybody's different views, and they want to argue about it. It's like, why can't we just all get along? We believe what we believe. We don't have to throw it out there for everybody else's. This is the way it is. I'm going to heaven because of it.
Here you are, baby.
I've accepted the fact we're all going to hell. I'm driving the bus, so screw it. Let's have fun and get along.
Yep.
Night-night.
Because 90% of the issues with the world is I'm right, you're wrong because my religion says so. I'm right, you're wrong because screw you. I always want to be right.
The last
I'm right, you're wrong because
couple hundred
just
thousand-
because.
last couple thousand years, ever since the Christian religion showed up, war.
It's not even the Christian religion. It's the Christians fighting with the Muslims. But if you look at their actual books from the Bible,
Well, you
And-
also have the Roman
and the-
Catholics fighting the pagans.
no, the Roman Catholics are just a bunch of assholes who know the pagans are actually real and their God that they worship and all the gods they worship are actually angels and archangels. And the God is actually, it's Ra, Zeus, Odin, and I can't remember the other freaking 5 or 6 other names that they all go by in all the pagan religions, is the same guy. Just the Christians said, no, we're just gonna, it is God. Screw you, screw all your names. Because it even says in the Christian Bible and the freaking Judeo scriptures and the Muslim scriptures that you're not supposed to say his actual name. Yeah, because he's given so many names, nobody knows his real name. And it even says you're never allowed to say his wife's names. Oh, you mean Hera? Or, what's the one for Egypt? I can't remember off the top of my head either.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah, go ahead, look it up.
I don't know,
And
Egyptian.
the one for Odin's wife. I can't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah. But I mean, they all have different names. But it's all either the same person or they just give them different names and say they have different powers when a god technically should have the power to do everything. Should be able to control all. What do we got here?
Hera and Osset. Osset, the Egyptian goddess of magic, wisdom, healing, power, love, marriage, and motherhood.
No.
for both
See
wives.
no. That's hooking. It's the mother goddess in Egypt. But see, that's connecting. Hera is also her, but that goddess in Egypt, the one they're trying to connect them, is actually a different person, because the simple fact is they changed which goddess did what in each religion. No, don't look up Hera. It's the top or
So
head goddess in Egypt.
head goddess
Ra's
in
Yeah, Ra's wife.
so Ra's
Egypt.
wife.
Yeah, Ra's wife. Yeah, in Egypt mythology, that'll work. Is
Hathor.
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 Yeah, Hathor.
Hathor.
I say Hathor.
Hathor.
That's how I... Because, no offense, I don't speak Egyptian, so I'm not going to pronounce it right, and I know that because I'm American, and we don't speak English, we speak American because we bastardize every language, change it how we want, and add some slang to it, and we speak English. No, it's American. Let's fix that freaking factoid right there alone. We don't speak English because all the English people from England and Britain say, like, you're not speaking English, asshole. Oh, no, I know. I'm not going to be like the rest of these idiots and say I'm speaking English and British. No, I'm speaking American. I'm an ass. And we've bastardized every freaking language ever and shoved them all into one, and that's what we speak in America. And now we're even mixing it with freaking Spanish, so it's Spanglish. No,
Basically
it's
broken
Americanese.
Basically broken English. And
That is everything that is in America. It's every freaking language. It's even some of the Native American languages
yeah.
put together and broken in to fit. Latin, they're broken in and fit. It's all broken in and fit. Whatever freaking region.
Religion.
Well, region and religion, because they change it, because, no, all the books were originally in Latin. Well, some of them were, some of them weren't.
Yep.
But because we've lost the original meaning, because they had 15 different words for wife, lover, and sex, and 15 different words for colors, because there's not a blue, there's not a red. Here's all the different shades of blue, here's all the different shades of red. Here's what I love you, just family means. Here's what I love you to your wife means. Here's what I love you to the girl you're banging on the side means. They had a word for all of it. We have bastardized every original language which came after the Tower of Babel, which screwed up all the languages anyways. But the furthest one we go back is supposedly Latin. No, if you go further back, you find the original languages, which nobody understands because it's dead language. It's not dead. It's only dead because nobody speaks it because they're like, nah, nobody understands. So we're just going to make it simpler and stupid.
Yeah.
So that's like so many languages have 15 different pronunciations for love and other stuff. I know still in Europe and Asia for...
Well, we're also literally the hardest language to learn ever. Like, English is the
Well,
most
like,
complex related
no
language
offense,
in
the
world.
one word, fuck. Okay, banging your wife, telling somebody they're basically evil or being a douche, an a-hole. I mean, you got 15 different words that mean fuck you, but
Yes,
still
it
saying
is.
fuck you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, one word means all of this. No, that doesn't work. We need to go back to, no, you got fuck, you got frack, you got...
Yep.
It's like ass. You mean arse? I'm sorry. I'm German, Scottish, English, French, and 15 other countries over there. Heinz 57 sauce, and a little bit of Native American, even though everybody says it's bullshit. But if you look far enough on the Native American bloodline, that even goes back to the freaking Middle East and all that stuff, because that's where we all originated from.
Yep.
Egypt and all that stuff. The humans originated from Africa. Oh no, that's only one strain.
Yep.
Because technically, if you go by the whole everything, because of the plates moving all the time and all the mountains, we were all living in a giant flat plain. Yeah, that's called the Garden of Eden. We effed up. Eve ate the fruit because Satan tempted her and banged her or whatever. Well, that's what it says in some of the religious texts that the
Depending on who you
Christians
ask.
have taken out.
Yeah, depending on who you ask as to what happened.
Oh yeah, because Adam had like 5 or 6 wives before Eve.
Lilith was one of them.
Lilith
Lilith.
was the original.
She was
But
the one who
because
didn't
God-
want to submit to Adam, and Adam was like,
Well, because they were equal, they were made the exact same. Up until Eve, where God said, "Okay, I'm done making you wives because none of them like you. We're gonna make her from you, so that way she's automatically programmed to be your submissive."
Yep.
God made Adam a daughter who became his wife because it's his genetics, just female. That's called a daughter, dude. You're a daughter banger. You're freaking
Alabama.
doing
Is Alabama before Alabama was Alabama.
right. Or Kentucky, or Oklahoma, Texas. Let's see, what other states can we throw in there? Louisiana.
Yeah.
There's a few redneck states we can throw in there for this one.
Arkansas?
Right?
No wonder they identify so much with the Bible.
No.
Exactly. That's why it's called the Bible Belt. Because they're all banging each other's family. Although, technically, if you go far enough back on anybody's timeline, we're all related. Because if it all goes back to Adam and Eve and Cain's freaking lineage, technically, we're all related. You're all cousin bangers. Yes, the weird shit I say. I know it's weird, but it's the truth.
I mean, it's not
Everybody's a
wrong.
cousin banger.
It's not wrong. It's just not politically
Saying
correct.
it that way is not politically
yeah.
correct.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
it's
give a
just-
crap
it's
about
just dead
politically
ass the way
correct. I
it
grew up
is.
in the 80s. Politically correct came in halfway through the 90s to the late 90s, and it's complete bullshit because nothing's politically correct, because if you're politically correct, you're lying out your ass and you're full of shit. and that's my goddamn religion
I'm
and viewpoint.
wondering how much this one viewer is laughing so hard right now. Like they haven't commented or anything.
They either fell asleep to my ramblings because I just took over again. Sorry. Or they're like, I like what this guy's saying because it's the goddamn truth.
I just sort of like let you just run for like ever because it's funny because I'm like sitting there just
Because
watching.
you love listening to
I'm
it.
just listening to it. It's like listening to an audiobook just unfocused. Like an unfocused audiobook that occasionally loses its train of thought. And then we have to be like, you're like, wait, what was I again? It's like, we're talking about Kennedy and this thing, and then you're like,
Oh,
oh
yeah,
yeah.
bro,
And then you suddenly jump right back into it. And the next thing you know, you're running again for another 45 minutes.
That is me. Juju, your kid's talking to you.
What's wrong?
I just heard him mumble something unless he's stuck in his sleep.
He's talking to sleep. Go back to sleep.
Smack her ass and tell her yes, sir. There will be an interesting dream. I dreamed about this last night, Mommy. What the hell? I just ruined your kid even more. Deal with it. No, but me trying to ruin people has actually fixed more people than I've ruined. Out of all the people I've tried to show the truth and talked about what I talked about with you, and now I'm doing on the podcast so that way I can throw my voice out there for everybody to hear, it kind of ends up becoming either I break them because I break their religious views or their view on the world, or I end up fixing them and they end up becoming a better person for society and they try to change stuff.
Well, remember, this whole thing, viewpoint, is entirely predicated off of what they've run into, what they've experienced, and what they've viewed in their
Or what
background.
their parents have shoved down their throat.
Yes,
Or grandparents.
throughout their entire life. So if they've spent the last 30 years only hearing one thing, or only hearing one viewpoint, their entire viewpoint, their entire like reality is predicated on that one existence, that one set of ideals that they've learned growing up. And so they're gonna disagree with it. They're gonna like think
Or
that,
agree with it.
yeah. And so it's like it's gonna be a giant wake up, or if it's gonna be a giant repulsion of reality. And so
I
you're gonna
repulse
look
a
at
lot
it
of people
couple
because
different
I
ways.
tell it from every different angle. Like I've just done with religious, some of the religious views I have on stuff that I've just thrown out there on the internet and everywhere else. But I mean, I've always thought like this. That's why religious people, half of them love me. Because I'm not stuck in a goddamn hole in the mud like a stick, like we used to always talk about in the 80s and make fun of. But
Yeah.
it's the thing of, that's who I am. I don't look at one point of view. That's why I also said, okay, you're almost 30, so we can run for office. Let's run for it, because you usually don't argue with me. You laugh and like, okay, I like his point of view.
Yeah.
So it works.
See, and earlier when I said bullshit, what I meant was that half the viewer base is going to be like, these guys are crackheads. I was more or less speaking up with
Dude,
the
I've been
viewership's going
called
to
a
think.
pothead, a freaking druggie. Hell, my father still calls me a hippie because I like having
Yeah.
long hair.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember having like
And it's
very
the
long
whole
hair.
Samson thing.
Like this head used to not be bald. It used to have,
No, you used to have hair about this long.
Yeah, it used to be about that long, and then
And
my
this hair used to be last year. It went all the way down to
then
almost
my-
my ass.
you could see where my hairline like ends, like right around like this point. That's part of
but
why
you
I
got
shaved
that
it.
blank spot in the middle. That's
I
why you
know.
keep shaving it, so that way it eventually gets.
It
that's
blends
how
in,
it-
and that
You'll
way
be
it
the sexy
always-
bald man. That's
Right,
what you
like-
want.
Basically, like when I actually have hair, there's like just giant golf ball of baldness that I can't stand, and so that's why I shave it off.
Everybody has a bald spot. Mine's
case you're
right
wondering.
about here where my dad's is. I know it's there. And what do? Just let my hair grow. Screw it.
Yeah.
I'm not angry about it. I know it's there, and guess what? I like having long hair. I like having my facial hair. I mean, dude, I'm a full freaking goddamn. I mean, like hell, dude. I am Harry.
Mm-hmm.
My last name's Potter. I'm Harry Potter. That's why when people are like, what are you, Harry Potter? I take off my shirt in high school and, well, it's the first Saturday when I was in high school, I stripped off my shirt. Yes, I am. I am the Harry Potter. And everybody's like, is he stripping in the middle of school? No, you asked the question. I am answering it with my fuzz. I am Sasquatch.
Yep, pretty much.
But I admit it. I have no problem with that. That's like when my dad told me at 16, okay, well, you got to pay for your haircut. I'm never getting one again. Kiss my ass.
It's funny because when I first met you, you're like muscle shirt and everything, and like giant fucking fuzz balls were hanging off your arms, and you were like Chewbacca.
Dude,
essentially.
I have this spot.
Yeah,
And if I wear the wife, well, what they call wife beater, the A shirts, and it does this,
yeah.
and I have this trim, I see girls just staring at the big fuzz. They're like, oh, he's got that hair fuzz right there. Oh, I can't look too long. He'll notice. I'm like, dude, I noticed like the last 5 times you've stared at it. Shut up. It is. But I mean,
Like
that,
Chewbacca.
well, dude, I have freaking Amber's seen it because the weird guy that stares at her and mom and me while I'm working at the gym, because when I go in, usually it's between 8 and 11 o'clock in the day, because that's when the kids are going to get my 2-3 hour workout in, and I go and I just work out.
Yeah.
I do cardio, I work out, sometimes I swim, not so much because it's the cold time of the year. I like doing that during the summer because it's already hot outside, so it'll be decent temperature in the pool,
Yeah.
which it is. But now, because it's cold outside and your body's used to the cold, as soon as you get in the water, it's like, no, I don't deal with cold water. No, thank you. I can deal with mild water, half hot, half cold, that perfect medium where it's not too cold, it's not too hot. It's like, no, that's my shower temp.
Yeah.
Because the showers, especially at the gym, they're like, holy shit, hotter. Freezing. Nah, dude, right in the middle.
Yeah.
But that's me. I am the middle. I love everything in the middle.
Yep.
That's why I'm weird.
That's why you also talk about religion in the middle. Like you combine them all together and you want one religion.
Yes.
It's all in the middle.
It's all the same.
Stuck in the middle.
Yes, I would make him look like an asshole because he's like, no, the light side, no feelings. Nah, dude, you gotta feel your feelings but know how to control them. That's where the light side and the dark side's complete bullshit. Because the dark side is, no, this is how it is, straight, clear, cut. It's like, no, it's not straight, clear, cut. Straight, clear, and cut.
Straight clear clut. Straight
Shut
clear
up.
clut.
My lips are not working right now.
New campaign slogan for 2022. Clear, alright.
You mean
Straight,
2024?
yeah, straight clear clut.
Did he just say? Is he trying to say something? I don't know, but I think he's talking about sex or he's talking about actually fixing shit. I'm not sure, but I'm voting for him because he's funny as shit. And he's talking about crap that makes everybody else in my family uncomfortable. I like it.
60% of all voters were all female.
Yeah, Thomas, you were there.
Actually, it's more like 70% because the world has 70% women, 30% men. Why is there so many single women? Because there's not enough dick to go around, sweetheart. You gotta share one or find somebody who isn't tied down and he has at least 5 of them and y'all can all rape his ass. And hey, look, now we have more boys. Okay, now we'll have even for the next gen. Well, because they've been doing that stuff since I think it was like the mid-90s.
Yeah, mid-90s.
Was the last time I heard it was 60% women, 40% men.
Something like that. Yeah, I remember reading a paper on that recently. Like someone
Yeah,
wrote a
because with
paper
all
on
the
it.
census and whatnot they do, it's like 70% women,
I was born 91.
30% men.
I was like 4 or 5 when that happened.
Yeah, when you guys were young, when I was in my teenage years, I'm like, dude, we're outnumbered now? Cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how long it's going to take for a woman to get in office. Hey, we got one, the vice president. Here's hoping she doesn't kill him or he doesn't die and she fucks it up.
Well, you just get superpowers like we were talking about.
But with the superpowers, then we'll just take it over and we won't need to be voted in.
Yeah, I'll just like fucking corner them and just be like, we're gonna cornhole this bitch.
Yeah.
Or move objects with my mind, just be like Secret Service is all like tied up and everything. Yeah, we're taking it over.
The bad part. Well, no, I'll let you go. Keep going.
Like Secret Service is all like tied up and everything, and like all pretzels and shit. And then like you wait till I wait till after you get the bomb codes and other stuff, and you just kidnap all the information. And I go, all right, you're back. And then like we're just like, okay, we're taking over this bitch, and then they just let us.
Oh no, that's like the whole. We're America. We don't want to have a king and queen. Yeah, but if we do it like Britain, they have king, queen. They still have their senate that runs everything. They have the prime minister that's elected into office to help run everything under the queen. The thing is, if you do it properly like Britain, you won't be like Rome, like we're trying to run, or Greek, like we're trying to run, because democracy doesn't fucking work. They've proven that through the history of the world. We're on repeat. Everything's going to go to shit in the next 10 to 20 years. And I'm sorry, I want to get into office and fix it so that way it's how the British have been running it, because it's ass backwards. But guess what? They're the one country who has been running this crap for the last, 700 years, who haven't completely gone to crap. We need to fix the system by getting somebody like me and you, who's the middle, low class, in office, who actually knows how to run the system, because we've been hearing people complain about it our whole lives, and actually run it like it's supposed to be ran. Because if we do it like that and I become king, I'm not gonna be like an asshole like Hitler and just, you're all wrong, kill the rest of them. No, we all need to get along. Not Hitler kill everybody. No, how they thought Hitler was gonna run everything. That we all need to get along and be one nation as a world.
We've only been a country for like 200 plus years.
No, we're talking about Britain.
Oh,
How long
Britain.
they've been running their
Oh.
stuff with the king
Oh,
and
yeah.
queen, but yet they still
Been
have
quite
the,
a while.
also have the elected prime minister, which is essentially president.
I was literally calculating in my head what you just said, and I was like, wait a minute.
You skipped one of my
I'm
steps. It's
asking
okay.
the question mark that the audience is going to ask.
Oh no, you asked, and I'm like, you missed one step I had.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Because, I mean, if we run not as our nations, we run as the world nation. Like you see in half the animes and half the cartoons that are like, this is how the world works the best. And we don't have this rich, somewhat rich, poor, and eat dirt and die.
Yeah.
We're all the same. We're not paying for stuff because everything's free, but yet we still have the people who like to do certain things like build. They have fun in it. They have fun creating stuff, engineers, and you have people who have fun doing it but don't want to do it as a career because half the careers nowadays are the people doing the underling stuff because once you get so far up in college and learn the stuff, all the people who are under you are actually the people who learned what you did, but they decided to do that because that's where the money's at. Well, if we take out the money factor, then we're all the same. We predicate stuff, and yes, you're going to call me a communist because that's how the communist view is, but I'm not going to pull the communist bullshit. I'm in charge, haha, fuck you. No, I'm going to do it properly. We all get our allotted amount for our size of family, or our size of whatever. We'll figure it out. But I mean, it's the size of person. Okay, you're this age, you're this height by the time you end at puberty. Alright, so you need this much food, but you have to work out at the gym for this long of the day. You have to do this, so that way we don't have, no offense, big people, we don't have people who are, I'm fat, I'm dying. No, if you kept up on certain things, you wouldn't be that way. But some people, it's also a mental thing. So we have to help people with the mental issues that can be fixed, and the ones who can't be fixed, they're going to be put in special care or assisted living sort of situations, so that way, for the stuff they can't do, they're getting help. For the stuff they can do, we let them do. It's like the whole disability thing. Here's money. No, fuck disability with the system currently, even though I'm on disability, because I get paid less than minimum wage. Kiss my ass, it needs to be done properly, so that way I get I get what I need to live and feed my kids, and so me, my wife, and my kids eat properly and stay healthy. Not, here's what you can afford, haha, have fun, try to go through your church. Because that's BS, and that shit don't work because I've been living it since I was freaking 5.
But
That
if
I
you-
can remember.
I got a question.
Hmm.
If you are,
I went back to me running for
Governor.
office, sorry.
so if you are a governor or you're in some kind of office, and
Governor higher up, yeah.
and you put people who need assistance in assisted living, like you were talking about, people who are disabled or whatnot,
Mentally disabled.
mentally disabled,
Me?
would that count
Yes and no.
yourself as well?
Yes and no.
Okay, describe.
Because my disability is physical, it's not mental. I don't let it affect my mentality. I am disabled, I know where my limitations are, but I'm going to not let my physical disability affect my mental stability, my mental awareness. That's why I talk about religion and some of the other stuff I've talked about tonight. Because
Yep.
sorry, I just ran with it. But that's why I say what I say and I talk how I talk, because I'm not mentally broken. Yes, do I have issues? Yes. I'm ADHD, and because Ritalin was messing with me in a way I didn't like, and I couldn't think when I wasn't on it, or I couldn't keep my thoughts in a proper process, I stopped taking it at, I think I was like 11, 12. I'm like, nope, I'm off. I'm done. I got to figure out how to do this on my own, because I'm not going to be stuck to a freaking medicine that will either keep me going, but it'll only keep me going for this limited time during the day, And if I take it after lunch or after eating dinner, I'll be up all night and I'll be wrecked and not be able to do anything the next day.
Yeah.
And because I learned that, I taught myself how to deal with my emotions and stuff. Some of it not so healthy, but I mean, it's a learning curve. You have to teach yourself. And for the stuff I can't help, I've found ways to either readjust or shift it, or, okay, I need to go for a walk, or I need to get out of the house to get away from my anger because it's a certain situation, or it's a certain person, or it's the situation with the person. Because you've been seeing me a lot more because I've been doing that.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing Nephi not as much, but I still see him enough that it helps me, and I know it helps him, because without that extra sensory perception and extra talking to people, whether they just let you talk or whether they interrupt you, like I do to a lot of people, I'm sorry for that, but that's how I work out the thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
Because if you tell me something and I'm like, no, stop, you just told me I did something wrong, but that's exactly what you do, so you're full of shit, and I'm going to tell you, no, let me finish talking. No, you're going to hear that you're telling me you're right by doing the same thing that you told me I was wrong for doing. No, bullshit, we're both wrong, so we need to figure it out, or we're both right, we're just going to freaking work around each other or kill each other. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's my viewpoint. It's certain people I know can do stuff, but it's also certain people put limitations. Like Teresa with her cerebral palsy, my wife. People told her she couldn't do stuff, and she is got the same mentality as me. Fuck you, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to prove you wrong by being more badass than you think I can be with my disability. And that's been her mentality. That's why we got along at first. I mean, we have our issues, but every couple has an issue. That's part of being human. You have an issue? Oh, deal with it or just walk away from it. Because sometimes when you walk away from it, people don't like it, but if that's how you have to deal with it for your mental stability, that's why you have to deal with it.
It's basically be a Hallmark card or.
Well, it's like the whole Stephen wife thing. No, I don't want that. I don't want somebody who just does everything they're told. Unless that's what they want. If they want me to be, I am God, you shut up and do your fucking shit, bitch, then okay, I'll give you that. But if that's not what you want, then I'm going to take 2 steps back. You want to be you, be you. I'll be me, and if we don't get along, we don't get along. If we get along, great. But that's also part of life. You stay with the group you get along with, or you leave the group you get along with because you don't like the group because half of them are assholes. And usually the group, half that's assholes, aren't actually supposed to be trying to be part of the group. They're trying to make the group, no, this is how we're doing everything because I'm a narcissist and this is what the fuck I think, and you're all going to agree with me or you're out of the group. Who the hell put that asshole in charge? I thought this guy was in charge first. But I mean, I see that and it's like, okay, take 2 steps back. Let's see what happens. Let's see who gets killed first. Okay, so that guy's taking over. Okay, I'm leaving the group, y'all. Why? You let Dum Dum take over. Yes, I started the group, and I'm not dealing with Dum Dum taking over. Bye! And I've done that so many times in my life. I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with the new genre or regime you're trying to do. No. You like, completely changed the whole group. I'm out, because it's no longer the group I started. Or no longer the friends I walked into and became a group with. You're changing it. Because the new guy came into town. But yet, when I was the new guy, you all treated me like shit. I'm out. I've done that so many times in my life. People are like, I missed him. And I hear it from other people. Because I run into people, or I've tried to keep in contact with people when I was in high school and younger.
Yeah.
And it's like, we miss you. What happened to you? You guys changed, and I left because I wasn't dealing with the change and the BS that was happening.
Yeah.
That's also why I want to get in the government, because I'm going to change the stuff, and we're going to go back to how it worked. And not this whole, everybody getting anal because not politically correct. I'm sorry, politically correct's BS, because with the American language, you can never be politically correct. We have too many slang words, and 90% of the American language is slang.
Yeah.
So politically correct does not work ever in any goddamn form or fashion. And I'm done for now. Take over, talk about your book, do whatever for the next half an hour, because I'm like completely ran this damn thing again. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I completely cut you out. That's not what I was trying to do.
I just simply was just like, all right, let's just listen to him talk about all this other stuff, get on a
Random shit.
soapbox, and it's funny because if you were like drunk or whatnot, you would be like more mellowed out, or
But
you
I'd
would,
probably be saying the same shit.
or be more intense soapbox. But yeah, soapbox is funny.
Yes, love.
The child you heard mumbling was Phoenix whining about being in bed.
I just said I heard a kid mumbling. I didn't specify which kid.
She's like, sissy out. And the thing is, that wall right there is their ceiling.
Well, yeah, no, I knew I heard somebody mumbling and whispering. That's all I knew.
Yeah, it was Phoenix whining about showing out.
So as
See,
far
now
as
she got in. Your turn.
as far as because we've talked about a range of topics already. Right now, we've talked about
A million and one things.
like a lot of it being Tim's process on how he believes in religion and how he sees spirituality, and then we've talked about superpowers with the X-Men and talk about how that may be the next 2021 episode 1 or 2 or 3 of
Or
how
all
this
5
year will go,
episodes.
and talked about how we want to have telekinesis. The reason why I would want telekinesis, by the way, and this is the
Oh,
thing
yeah, I
that I was
could
bringing
jump
up,
that one. Sorry.
is one of my characters in the story has telekinesis, and I grew up obsessing over the Force, over Star Wars, and over any other story that has telekinesis, because the ability to move shit with your mind, you can move your own body in the air, which creates flight essentially, and then you could move.
Superman.
And then you could move things in your room, and so it's essentially like you're doing magic, having the Force, and having any other number of things all into one blanket. And so if you're able to do telekinesis, you could do a lot of things. If you're able to heal, you could potentially donate your blood to different companies who know how to use that power so that you could heal other people, and you could possibly create cures for different diseases with the power of healing. And so there's different things you could do. The dangerous thing of that, of course, that TV shows explored, is that the government would want to use that as a power, and so they'd probably lock you up, which is why it would be dangerous to have that. But if you go into the right places, you'll have
Don't look for me
areas.
now.
So as far as books go, the one I've been writing about is a story about vampires. Like it has vampires, werewolves, but the important thing is the first book. I didn't want to like spend pages on pages telling you what these creatures are, so I just simply said they're vampires or they're werewolves, that sort of thing. Left it at that, bare basic description, and then I gave like certain little doses of like how vampires can burn in the sunlight, or how vampires need blood to survive, or how werewolves are with their wolf goddess, like part of their religion. I kind of went into a little bit of that in the first book, but in the second book, I'm going to go deeper into that, go more into like what the werewolves believe, go more into what the vampires believe, that sort of thing. You're going to get more of the council and that sort of thing.
Do you have any I never did ask this. Do you have any daywalkers situations?
Daywalkers? Yeah, where people walk during the day. Yeah, I have those
It's
too.
the vampires that walk through.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then
I just
especially
wanted to go over that one because
especially ones that are
subject
born
we'll
to
talk
vampires
about next
and humans.
podcast.
Yeah, especially the ones that are born to humans and vampires both at the same time. They're considered daywalkers. Peter technically is considered a day human demon walker essentially, because his mom is
He's
a
a
demon.
mixed breed.
Yeah, his mom is a demon and his dad is a vampire, but because of his divine blood, because of his divinity, because his grandfather is technically, one of them is the devil, and the grandfather by concept is God. And so therefore he is a divine being, so his blood and his species is a little different than the other beings. And so I'm going to be going into more of that in the second book and the third book. And so as far as this goes when it comes to telekinesis, the reason why I kind of picked that, because it seemed like, a stereotypical approach. We write a character in this world that has the power. I wrote his love interest with the same type of power, and so figured, I would choose that one as a funny one. Yeah, and Yoda, too. Yoda has telekinesis. He can, literally sit there and be like, and then, have rocks floating above his head. That sounds really cool to me. So I figured
I
I
always
would
thought
go
it
with
was
that.
funny. No, you're thinking about it wrong, Luke. It's not the weight. It's the freaking midichlorians, the force around the thing. Use them to move it.
Yeah,
It doesn't actually
right?
weigh anything, dude. You're thinking because physics has told us that's what it weighs.
He's like, I can't do it. I can't believe it.
And you're just
that's why
like-
you failed. And it literally just. and then like lifted the X-wing out of the water over it, and then boom, and then he was just like, "That is
And
what
Luke
you
just
do."
shit his pants at that point.
Yeah, Luke clearly creamed
He
himself.
kind
He
of did.
creamed himself and shit his pants at the same time. It was just like it was like a double reaction out the
Right.
out the other end. He's like, "Bow, bow."
Wait, I can do that?
Right. You know, he creamed himself. But yeah, like that's pretty much why I would go into telekinesis. Is because of the fact that, you know, just a fun little power to have. Now, if you ended up going to the gym one day and then like you're lifting up the weights and you know you guys are putting the weights on and then out of nowhere like fucking I used to, you know, have a certain limit and then out of nowhere like we stuck on every single weight on the thing and you had to like have an extension bar and you're like going, nope, still not enough. That's when I would know that I got super strength. But you know, you'll never
That's
know.
when you go for the strongman competition just to beat it for fun and shits and giggles.
Oh yeah, even though you're
Needs
totally
more
cheating.
weight, dude.
Yeah, even though you're totally cheating and shit at that point, and you're like going like, oh, it's like wait,
He's cheating somehow.
yeah, and you like have
That
like
means
two
he's got a
targets.
superpower. Lock him up or kick him out.
Yeah, and then you have like
Disqualified.
you have like two bars, and like both semi trucks are just hanging on the ends of the bars, and they're hanging by like a cable, and the guy's like,
Disqualified.
and then they're just
Clearly
like,
you have superpowers.
and they're just like, wait, how are you doing that? It's like, oh, that was my warm up. That wasn't the actual workout.
Yeah, but if that was your actual workout, you'd be so bulked out, you'd make Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime look like a itty bitty baby.
Right.
You are tiny bitch.
And
So
so
giant of 6 foot. That's what makes me bigger.
it's like, watch, that's how the government plans on defeating the aliens. Is they're gonna give everyone superpowers, and then aliens are gonna invade, and then a bunch of the supers that are gonna have like super strength and like the a super powered armor with their skin and everything, like they're in hardened skin, are gonna end up having to defend us against the freaking aliens that have the spaceships. They're gonna fly in the air, and they're gonna like take the spaceships and throw them out into space, and then the other ones are gonna have that hardened skin, so they're gonna throw all those missiles at them, and they're gonna be like. And like defend themselves and that type of thing.
The funny part is the government already, our aliens are already here, and the government's behind it for years. They have proof.
What's funny is my wife pointed out to me one night that octopi are technically aliens. I didn't think about that for like ever until then, and I was just like,
In what way did she explain that to you?
the fact the DNA is not from Earth.
Well, everything genetics. We're the only ones that have the triple.
Yeah.
Because some of the animals, it's not triple. It's like a 2.5 or whatever. Because nothing works like our genetics.
But the thing is, octopi have literally, they're like the only creature in
On this planet,
that don't have a genetic evolutionary ancestor.
because they've always been the same.
Exactly.
That was her.
You can't
explanation.
evolve when you're perfect.
But also, I was mostly just.
Which makes you think, is God actually octopi?
I was
it's already
mostly
perfect.
just telling him though. I'm just like octopi don't have bones, so they can't get boners.
Which kind of makes hentai a lie.
We went on that subject. I'm wrong. I love that.
I mean, I had to chime in with that thing because
No, that's
she goes
hilarious.
on and on when we're off screen and stuff. She goes on and on about hentai, makes hentai jokes all the time, and every time we're watching some sci-fi movie with like tentacle stuff, she's like, "Oh, tentacle porn,"
I'm just
And, like-
Yeah, that's cute.
and she's like, "That's a kink," and I'll be like, "Okay," and she goes, "Yeah, it's hentai," and then like with
Making
you
a
being like,
joke,
"Oh, by the
making
way,"
it sound like I'm talking about it like a horny fucker.
I mean,
You are a horny fucker. What are you talking
How do you
about?
know you're not horny? How do you know you didn't just blow one?
Oh my god.
Well, like, yeah, like when
Random
she's
subject.
talking about that shit, like, and you guys are saying, "Oh yeah, they can't get boners." I'm like, wow, that kind of makes all that stuff an invalid lie.
Well, no, see, and they're the funny part is the way
35-minute tangent.
human work. What?
I said our next 35-minute tangent.
Well, no, we're the only creatures that have a boner that doesn't actually use a bone to get hard. Every other animal does. So technically, we're just broken animals.
I could see Tim struggling really hard right there to contain himself.
Damn it. Well, I mean, I don't even remember. It was one of those Discovery Channel things that technically humans are the only standing up or proper animal, because we're all animals technically, that get a hard on that doesn't actually have a, we call it a boner, but there's no bone.
Yeah.
Most of the other creatures, bones actually have something to do with their hard-ons in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Nope. Penises just have cartilage.
That is a bone, dude. That's just thin bone.
Well, it turns into a bone once the blood hits it.
But see, that's just muscle.
Yeah,
Technically, your
blood,
dick
muscle.
not being hard is it flexing all day to keep it small, so that way every chick isn't going, "Oh my God, look at that!"
Yeah.
It's a defense mechanism. Technically, no, we're
Hey.
not going to show the world.
That explains middle school.
I love that. That's priceless. There's your Hallmark card. That was middle school.
Yeah. It's like I fucking get up off my desk and I'm trying to like do my work, and I'll look over and see some chick and I get really embarrassed over nothing, and I get up and like next thing you know my pants is going, "Say hi," and I'm like walking towards the board trying to write stuff, and I'm like going, oh my god, my pants are like totally looking bigger than they're supposed to be.
Dude, the funny part with that is I never had that issue. I just got up. Yes, I got it. Deal with it, bitches. You know, like we always talk about Nephi, the big black dick the big
Yeah.
black dick energy. Yes, it is there. Love it.
What's funny is I didn't know how to
But
respond.
I've always been like that, though.
I didn't know how to respond when I had some one chick lick her lips because like I was walking towards the blackboard trying to write something, and I didn't get at all what was going on because I was a
You were clueless.
I was a naive, clueless little twit, and I was like walking towards the blackboard, and she's sitting there looking at her lips, and I'm wondering if she's thirsty or something. 'Cause it's super like hot in the room all of a sudden,
Yes, she's
and
thirsty,
like, I'm sweating really
Just
bad.
not what for you're thinking of.
And like she's like going, and I'm like going, I'm all like, at first I'm walking back to my desk going, I was like, should I offer her water or something? And then
That's not what
not
she
really
wanted.
realizing that she wants me to offer something else that has nothing to do with water.
Yeah, it does. Just a different type of drink.
Yeah. Like she wants me to like unzip the pants and just drop the pants right there. They just drop trousers. She wants to ask me to go out behind a bush and show her the other bush and how it works. And then like
I thought that was weird growing up because it became shave and trim your shit as a guy. It's like, why? If he ain't got no hair, he ain't a man. And that was the funny part because I was a hairy son of a bitch. I'm the biggest man.
I was 13 and already like if I pulled off my pants right there in the class, everybody would see a giant friggin' tower with like all of the bushes that were at the bottom that hadn't been trimmed yet because it didn't trim them at all.
I never
Giant
understood
ivory
that
tower
whole
that
thing
stood-
where that became like,
it was like,
that
hot
became
up.
the norm. Shave your balls, shave. I'm like, I'm not a body lifter and I don't swim on the swim team because we didn't have one in my high school. It's like, I ain't shaving shit. I'm a fuzzy and you're gonna love it or you're gonna leave it.
And at the time, I made the joke of you shall not pass. But then at 15, I was like, doors are wide
Oh,
open,
Amber.
gates wide
The
open.
whole fuzzy thing. I am Super Saiyan 4 from the age of 13.
Yeah,
Hey, have you seen that one, the Dark Devil Artemis, where Charlotte becomes Super Saiyan 4? I am
Yeah.
a furry. I was like,
Yep.
dude, I've always been that. That's the bad part.
It's funny. There was a chick in one of the classes that I was like super heavily into, and I would have.
Back in the day,
Yeah, it would have been nice to have like one of those middle like high school experiences that you saw in like the show Big Mouth, and like it
I've never
would
seen
have
the
gotten
show,
really
but okay.
sensual all of a sudden. And, like, I would have like tripped over myself. My tongue would have like fallen out of my mouth, and it would have been like twisted every which way.
Okay, I see. I see
then,
the
like,
picture you're painting.
And then like Hormone Monster would be like, get her, yeah, just pick it up, just boy, raw,
Do it, dude.
take off the leash.
Oh, I love the picture you're painting.
Yeah, if anybody in the crowd has seen Big Mouth, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's like this giant fucking like tower of dicks that just kind of hang out there, and they're like, we're doing the wave.
Well,
Wife's
that
just
is
like-
what it does. It
wife
does
looking
the
at me
wave
and
when
was
it
super
goes, hi,
disappointed.
how are you doing?
Even though when she was watching Big Mouth, she has no problem just dying. Like she nearly falls off her chair with laughter. Just so you know.
No, the issue is we're on Twitch. She doesn't want me to get banned.
Oh,
They cannot ban these.
there's like too many. Like if you make too many, how many dick chokes is it required to get banned? Like.
I think we've
What?
passed the limit, so yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
Okay, so TOS is limit is 1, and we've made like 18 already.
Well, I usually there wasn't an option to put it on here, but when I get home and look on Twitch on my computer, I'd be like, 18 plus.
And peeps on YouTube, this is not for children, obviously.
Oh no, I always make sure I put on whenever I download to YouTube, 18 plus.
Yeah.
I didn't even put it in the title. I put it at the end, whatever our title is, I'm like, okay, 18 plus.
Watch, someone,
That's what
someone
I
in the
instantly
crowd
do.
is going to literally look up Crazy Peas on YouTube because I haven't posted anything yet. They're going to look up YouTube and be like, I'm so disappointed because it's not on YouTube yet. But I will get it on YouTube.
Not
It'll
on
be
your channel, it is on mine, Dark Thandar.
Yeah, okay, so it is on Dark Thandar. It's just going to be edited on YouTube. I'm not going to, like, edit it per se. I'm more or less going to be like, title, transition, and then I'm going to be like,
Yeah, like
And
I
then,
already
like-
told you, you can have the edit. I'll just put the freaking raw
yeah,
unedited
I'm
this.
literally
The
all
only
I'm gonna
thing
be doing.
edited is the background we put in.
There was
before
an
we record.
episode where we had like 3 different like recordings because the camera froze, and all I'm going to be doing is trying to like put them
sucked.
together, and then like
That
put
was like
little
2 or 3
weird
days ago.
transitions together, and then all I'm doing is making it less awkward than it is, and like I'm not doing anything massively fancy with it because I don't have theme music yet. So all I'm doing is just going boop, 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 and it's gonna like sound like you're in Walmart or something with the boop, 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 boop.
That's your fart noises. Okay, yeah, we're switching to the next.
Who needs professional sound effects when Thomas is a human soundboard?
Dude, I am too. You've heard all my voices. We can, we can have some fun with this.
It's like main title credits, very beginning of the thing. It's the Crazy Peas.
Well, that's why I mean, because we say our names, but I'm like, no, I'm just gonna keep it with my screen names for Twitch and all that stuff. But whatever, people know. I want them to know my name because we're running for office, so they got to know who the hell they're voting for.
Though I'm pretty sure if I had a yeah, like bigger, I'm probably I'm gonna get a copyright strike of some kind, and then I'll be like, that's not cool. Oh, hey, YouTube, you suck.
They can't copyright us because we're doing it naturally. We're not adding in the bloops because we don't have a soundboard yet.
Yeah, the whole.
We're doing this all natural. Yeah, you just gotta cut out this part of your voice and okay, I'm gonna stick that there, and when they see the end of the recording, they'll know it's actually me. So you can't copyright me because it's my own voice. Kiss my butt.
It's the Crazy Peas podcast. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, that was cool.
See, now he's going off on his tangent. Sound effects.
Yes, because I am the more random one. Like he's random when it comes to politics and it comes to all these other serious stuff going on. I mean, I'm just
It's
like,
not random.
and me, I'm just like,
At least not in my head.
me, I'm just like, bloop. Just watch.
Okay, so next,
I'm gonna have like
so next week he'll just do fart noises in between subjects that we know when we're changing.
It's like because he starts talking about Jesus and he talks about the other, and each time I'm like, and then
And
next
that's why
week,
God's an alien.
That's
And
when-
then next subject.
like God's an alien. God's an alien. Jesus is black.
I said almost black.
Almost black.
Did somebody just take a shit in the background? What the hell's going on with this show? We installed a toilet in this room today. Did you hear it? Flush. No, we're not building that. Bringing out the dildo drill. Okay, he just iced his cake, butters.
Oh god. Oh,
And
God.
if you're a
That was a shocker, by the way, and not what I described.
That's what you heard. That's not what we heard. It's just
shit.
funny when you're going back at it. Oh wait, that is what it sounded like. Shit.
Go ahead and be like, oh fuck. Son of a bitch.
White man didn't realize what he was talking about.
Oh my black Jesus.
That's why all the women followed him because he was the black Jesus, not the white Jesus.
And he was
And we know
Oh.
why. What?
Mary Magdalene, anyone?
Well,
That's why the mythology and the Da Vinci Code is the way it is. Yes, she did have his baby. He didn't tell anybody why, because he didn't want everybody to know he was the black. Jesus.
just watch because of the sound effects and all the weird, stupid jokes. Everyone's gonna be like, that my viewership is gonna surge upwards 300%, and I'm gonna be like, what the fuck happened?
No, they're gonna watch mine, the raw, and then because they're gonna see us mentioning your channel, they're gonna go look at the edited version of your channel and go, I like them both. And then I'll have it in the comments. You need to up the production. Put the edited version in. No, I'm raw. He's edited. I'm no condom. He's condom. Got it? And now that I put it out there, they're actually gonna know.
See, I don't like condoms. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you like editing, so you condomed yourself.
Nah,
I'm raw.
I just like adding some extra spice and salsa in there.
Salsa. That's where the Mexicans come in.
There's gonna be timestamps in the comment section now where people are gonna be like, "This is where he made all the weird sound effects."
No, because I've been seeing a lot of people like doing that with their videos. This
Yeah.
section, this section, this section in the freaking comments. I mean, in the description, we talked about this, and this, and that'll be your video. And mine's just raw. We don't know what
Yep.
the hell's going on. He's just talking.
It's like Tim in this edition of Crazy Peas. Tim's soapbox. And another edition
from
of
this quarter.
Another edition of White Jesus. What about Black Jesus? We forgot. It's in the script.
That's why we don't script anything. That's why we need to find a freaking dry erase board, have it sitting right here, or something like. Went over that subject. Went over that subject. We didn't even have that subject on there. Got to write it down so that we remember to put it in the description.
When we did a movie review.
I did, technically.
Well, we were randomly talking about Death 2020.
I feel like we were kind of on topic with like the beginning of this thing, and then about 30 minutes in, Tim's soapbox started, and then everything got really derailed and all over the place. It was like, and I really
Because I
failed
talked
as a
about
moderator.
what they were talking about in Death 2020, but then I decided to put, here's what I think on the subject, and here's what I think still talking about because they talked about it in the thing, and then I just kept going,
Hey,
and it ran away.
I did better. I did better than Joe Biden and Donald Trump's first moderator.
Yes, true. You're just like, let the shit roll. Let's see what happens.
I was like, "Aw, let me see what happens when I press this button." Tim
And there's the
Soapbox.
flames.
Tim Soapbox.
Oh, just think of how the freaking if we ever go for president, which is the plan eventually, how bad those freaking debates will be. The presidential and the vice presidential. Yours will be freaking organized. Mine will be everywhere.
Let me start out with.
Ever just go in 5 different directions and still get back to the subject and make us all agree with him?
It's like.
What I do?
It's like. It's like mine's gonna start out with MLK once had a dream, and then yours gonna start out with you know what happens when all these motherfuckers get in the wrong area. And everybody's gonna be like, "Oh shit, it's gonna be good. Let's pull the
you talk
popcorn."
about his dream. I'm like, yeah, but see, his dream doesn't fully work because of this, and then I'll go off on some random subject and it'll be like, how the hell did we end up here?
Someone's gonna whisper in the crowd, "Okay, the one dude would talk about the dream and all other fun shit. That's good, but the show's really about to begin."
This
Pulls
is
out
the true podcast, the
Pulls out-
randomness of me.
Pulls out the popcorn.
Yeah, you're in the drink section where they're like, okay, I can enjoy this. And then I'm random, it's like, okay, this is popcorn.
The main attraction.
Which is why I will work in office, because nobody will know what I'm talking about, but they all watch to see the fun show. And then the Europeans, is this a TV show? It is now, bitch!
They'd be like, "We thought last season was great."
Shit, this one's better.
America just got more intense.
No, it's like, no. We were watching America, then we saw this crazy in Utah, so we started watching the Utah show.
Yep.
And then he became the main character in the America show. And we've watched, and we haven't left since.
Yep.
He changed the script 5 different ways, and we love this show. We're never leaving.
We sort of lost track, halfway through, but then we sort of realized that we just don't care, and we just kept eating popcorn. And we just put in extra butter.
And then it'll go from being the American show to being the world show. No, I'm just watching because I love the show.
Yep. Like, introduction of globalism. Here we go. So that's how it's gonna go.
Oh yeah, no, that's the plan. I'm the entertainment. You're the director. This is what we're gonna try to talk about. Well, shit. Screw it. It's already recorded. We're just learning with it.
It's like that guy who never finished the screenplay and said, "Okay," and then be like, "What's all this blank section for?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's where Tim comes in." It's like, "Wait, what is it? Why does this thing say improvise?" Because that's Tim's part.
That's the only thing I know how to do. So either everybody laughs or they're shitting their pants. And there's the truth on that one.
All my stuff was like they have like a little.
Yours was
Plot
scripted.
points.
Mine was random as
It
hell.
wasn't necessarily scripted. It was more like guided, and yours was just like, "This is what I think today." Which is really how this goes. Like half the time, like you're just like going, "This is what I think today," or "This is what pissed me off this last week."
And these are the people we're going after in 50 years because screw it, I'm living to 100.
These are the days of our lives.
You want to know what grinds my gears?
Grinds my gears.
No, this is what looped that fat bitch in the back. Wait, when the hell did we get to this? Right now!
It's like Tim's like, "I am your new Peter Griffin, and here's grinds my gears."
Yeah. I'm sorry, I will never be that fat. My bad, people.
That's why I said new Peter Griffin.
Exactly.
The more
skinny
buffer one.
version.
More buffer one who's like Lou Ferrigno goes, "I got recasted."
Alright. Truth.
The one viewer is still there. He's probably like,
Oh yeah. Well, keep going. I gotta hit the facilities.
"All right,
Boop cat. Hey, listen.
we gotta laugh." That's what we do here. We talk about a lot of random stuff, and then we make you laugh. Last time, I was basically talking your off about storytelling, and this time I'm just gonna say that this last year was a shit show. Like, just there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was a shit show. There were good things about it. There were good parts. There were good bits. But it was like that really bad season that happens when the writers group is on a writer's strike. And the entire time they're asking for more money and the government won't give it to them. Like, that's how all last year was. It was like one big writer's strike. Only this time it was the world. And it was the country. And it was the government fighting about money. And it was one of the most intense years ever. Like, I've only been alive for like 29 years, and yet I was reading from people, hearing from people, because I work at this company called Verizon, and I was hearing from people about how, I talk a lot of business people, and I was hearing about how, they've been alive for 60 plus years or 70 plus years, and this was something that was outside of even their conception of reality. And so it was one of those things where you're trying to get through day to day. You probably just heard my kids scream in the background. Sorry about that. I said that a lot of my day job. But you go to day and you deal with your children, you deal with your stuff, you deal with whatever you're dealing with, and then you try to find outlets like this podcast where we talk about batshit crazy shit, and we talk about octopus being aliens from another planet. We talk about a bunch of religious crap. We talk about political stuff. We talk about how Tim's obsessed with being governor. We talk about like X-Men, and we talk about having superpowers. This is one of our outlets that we have, like one of our soapboxes. I haven't gotten much of my soapbox because I find it really entertaining to watch Tim go on his, but I have my own soapbox. I have my own soapbox of reality and how I think that no matter what happens and no matter how much money you make in this reality, you're always going to be broke. Unless you're one of those rich billionaires who magically has 17,000 yachts, or Jeff Bezos, who has $2 billion again yesterday. If you check Forbes' watch list for billionaires, you'll find that Jeff Bezos likes way too much money. And if you were to take and tax him even 20%, he would still have 98% of all of his wealth. And he also would gain more wealth, especially when the next crisis hits over toilet paper, and we end up not learning from the last time, and we find out that everyone is so obsessed with using white fabric on their balls and their ass They make the other people have to use leaves. And they make them have to use feathers and whatever else, and they make them use their TV remote. And suddenly next week they're like taking their TV remote and wiping up their ass, and then they go, "Where's the TV remote, dear? I don't know. You used it on your balls last night." Be like, "Wait, I did? Oh wait!" And he takes the remote and uses a baby wipe to wipe it off, because that's what I do sometimes. Use baby wipes on the walls and shit, because I have like little retarded kids. Love you
They're not
guys.
retarded,
And
they're energetic.
well, they're developmentally delayed. And so you take the remote and then you wash it off and you forget that you used it last week, and then you realize it's because the rich people ate all the toilet paper.
See, no. See, and there's the issue with the TP issue. Everybody was worried because all the TP was gone. Do you have a brain? It's called
No.
rag. They sell them at the Dollar Tree, the little freaking baby rags.
Never said no to the Dollar Tree or the rag. I just said no, I don't have a brain.
Oh, just double checking.
Everyone doesn't have
But-
their brain. We all lost it last year, if you don't recall. Like the tissue in your head sort of just deteriorated and rotted and just fell out of your ass, and
Well,
it
but see,
came
the
when
funny
you
part
ate too many
was
rancheritos when you're doing
everybody
DoorDash
was
or when you're
worried
eating
about
Taco Bell.
TP, but in 90%, well, more than 90%, unless it's a public bathroom, and even some of those, like at the 7-Elevens, you have a sink right there. Take a shit, use the sink, wash your ass and your hands, because you got to wash your hands anyways, because you just took a shit,
Because it's better than a remote.
right? But, well, no, but the thing is it all, once it's on your hands and you get it in the hot water, if you're smart and use hot water like you're supposed to when you wash your hands, and the soap, you'll basically be taking a bullshit shower in the bathroom, washing your ass. You actually don't need TP. I'm sorry. Plus, if you have a backyard, just dig a hole, take a shit outside.
I feel like we lost the crowd like an hour and a half ago.
What crowd? We have one.
I look at the chalk box and going, Donita, we said we didn't do mushrooms or TMT. I'm pretty sure we lost that fucker. And then the other guy said,
No,
the other guy
the funny
said,
part is-
retarded kid takes a perk. Will he be normal? And when we answered that question, we lost him. And then the other person said, "What are you up to tonight?" And I said, "Being a smart ass at this podcast." And they didn't fucking respond. So I'm like, we lost this crowd an hour and a half ago.
Dude, we lost it before. They dropped the comment. We just kept going, didn't notice it, and then when I noticed it, they were already gone.
It's probably because the stream got restarted twice, and they're like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Right, because stupid technical issues. Even though I said sorry for the technical issues, but at that time we only had one, so they had said bye.
Yeah.
No, we didn't mean to end it.
And then like tomorrow or the next day, you're gonna get like questions about toilet paper, and you're gonna get questions about Black Jesus, and they're gonna get questions about this and that and this and that, and then you're gonna be like, "Holy fuck, why are they saying that now?" It's like, oh well, they fell asleep because they had to go to
No,
work in the
funny
morning,
part
and then
is,
they woke
these
up, and now
people
they're
are
talking to you now.
Probably either saw my post on Facebook or Twitter, and they're like, "Ooh, I wonder what this goofball's talking about. Let's see."
And then they like didn't stick around. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck off, and then tomorrow when I'm at work, I'll listen to you.
Yeah, watch half the people. Dude, I got 8 to 10 views on the last one.
Nice,
And I think I got 12 on YouTube.
nice. That's
So
an improvement.
I don't know who they are, but thank you.
Hello, guys. We're here
Yeah,
to talk
right.
about toilet paper and demented children.
That was your subject. I'm just like, toilet paper, dude, people were stupid. Should have just done it the
Hey,
simple way.
I
Go
was
back
trying to
old
talk
school.
on a relatable subject of you remember those videos that passed around months ago where they had those little those fast forward videos.
Well, I
where,
heard, when
put
I
it
was
in
going
quick-
downstairs,
quick
I heard you
laps.
say something about this is our shit show.
Yeah,
Which
essentially.
is what makes it a good show.
Yeah, it's essentially 2020 was a shit show to begin with, and 2021 is just going to be volume 2. We're just hoping it'll be better, and it's going to be the next, and then soon they're going to have the next fight over toilet paper. Did everybody learn from last time? No, they did not. They learned nothing. Especially since we're going to have another stimulus soon, at least according to the rich people, they're promising another one down the line. Because Joe
Here's
Biden's
hoping.
like, this is a down payment. So I have no idea. But the next stimulus that comes out, expect all toilet paper to be gone. It's going to just disappear.
No,
It's going to poof
that's
out of
when
reality.
you go to the lunatics in the LDS church who have the Bishop Storehouse, where you can actually get toilet paper.
Yeah, that's true. We still have our entire box of toilet paper that was from June, and so far it's half empty now, or a little more than half empty. So sometime soon we're gonna be fucked.
No. See, your toilet paper will last for another month because you're just now getting the 2 little turds who should have been doing it earlier. But y'all have been kicked into gear, you and her. to just stop and just, no, you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where your TP is going to go. Other than that, it is what it is, and by the time it goes to the shit show, I'll probably have a stockpile of TP, and everybody will be coming to me for toilet paper. And then it'll be like, hey, don't forget to vote for me for governor.
You just like stand outside your door and everyone's lining up for toilet paper, and you have like this you have like the sign that says vote for governor, we'll give TP. And you're just passing out fucking rolls to everybody.
I'll become governor because I'm giving out toilet paper for free. Toilet paper per vote.
You'll be like, Timothy Potter stands for TP, vote for governor.
And then right underneath it, Thomas Paxton also stands for TP for lieutenant governor.
Don't want to run out of toilet paper? Vote for TP. Listen, Tim Potter Paxton.
The TPs were on a roll.
That's why I thought the 2020 with the toilet paper and then the 2021 with the roll empty was perfect for me, because everybody who's on my Facebook knows that, and anybody who's seen my stuff has heard me say my name once or twice, or should know it by now. If they don't, now they do. But that's why I'm like, perfect post.
Yes. So it's like, it's going to be an interesting next few months. Watching January fade into February, bounce into March, and then thud into April. It's going to be interesting watching the next 4 months pass, because you're going to watch Joe Biden go into presidency.
And we'll see if he's a dipshit or
Yep.
not.
And then unless they cheat, and then suddenly Trump is president anyway.
No,
And then February,
we'll give
March.
him his own island, and all the
combine.
Trumpsters and Trump can go have their own island and try to build it bigger, so that way there's enough room for those retards to live out in the middle of the ocean. We ain't gotta deal with their stupidity.
Yeah, how do we know that Trump doesn't have like his own island already? Like, how do we know that? Like,
Because he's
gonna-
filed for bankruptcy 6 or 7 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but he also
Not
used
making
Mar-a-Lago as like a second White House.
Even though it goes against his company contract.
Yeah, like he
Dude.
doesn't care about rules. Are you kidding me?
If they don't freaking get his ass thrown in jail for all the shit he did that was illegal, or he told people to do that was illegal, that have already been thrown into jail, that he's given pardons to, and they're still gonna freaking throw his ass in jail because as soon as he's out of office, they can actually arrest him for shit. Then we ship him, and all the people who want to follow him, who didn't go, no, we were just doing it because he was in office. Or the idiots who actually try to destroy America for that stuff will be the ones who actually.
Your fucking profile picture. I just saw that. It's like, are you sure you want to delete all feelings? And it's got our RAP in the bottom left corner. We're talking about my wife, by the way.
Yeah, my sister, the goofball sitting over there.
Yep. But yeah, like, what were you guys talking about? Biden, and then you're talking about Trump, and you're talking about...
Well, you brought up
Brooke-
if Trump
Brooke-
actually gets his way
And then Brooke
says he's still in office
yeah,
or
and then
something,
and then rules
we'll
got
just
broken.
ship his ass off to an island and okay, y'all can stay over there and do your he is God, he is your king, whatever, have fun. Here's your
Yeah.
own nation, it's the Trump nation, and if we want, we'll
They
let you
literally
sit there.
created
If you try to
entire-
do something stupid, we'll nuke you and that'll be the end of
Well,
it.
they literally created an entire social media website so that people who are Trump supporters could blow each other.
No, they literally did because.
Oh,
that
no, I
TikTok-
saw-
that TikTok.
Like, it was on TikTok, it was everywhere, and like my
I was in
relatives
a
joined
couple
it
places.
because they like.
But that's why I like the whole Death 2020 thing, because they showed all the people on TikTok, because Trump was being a douchebag and having so many people meet up and get next to each other and not doing the whole 6-foot distancing crap.
Yeah.
They all saved seats, so there was only like 20 people in a 300-person stadium. Because
Yeah.
it's like, haha, you're an asshole. Here, kiss our asses.
The millennials went savage with Gen Z.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
no,
it
it
wasn't
was-
just millennials.
it was pretty
It
funny.
was some of my generation, Generation X.
I was sitting on my phone going, haha, and like watching it like they were, you know, because DT was totally throwing a Twitter tantrum, and he was like talking about how they were all so mean for, you know, renting all these seats or
And
buying
now
all
he's
these
gonna get
tickets.
rid of TikTok,
And now he's gonna get rid of
YouTube.
an entire social media platform over people's attendance.
But see, that was complete BS. He used that
Yeah, we
to
know.
get the guy that he wanted to own it in America to buy it, but yet everything's still in China, but because they own the American end of it, he can use that to do stuff in Yeah. F it. Well, no, because they just recently changed the guidelines and have completely deleted and cut out sounds on 90% of the videos I used to watch. It's like, no,
Oh, by
just
the way,
assholes.
Another thing that was part of that whole $2,000 stimulus max advancer thing
Okay.
that the law they were trying to do. Remember how they were trying to vote on that, and then Mitch like voted against it.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing about that, and the thing that I found funny, was that the Republicans voted no against it. Right?
Uh-huh.
Do you know exactly know what part of it was? They were wanting to repeal the protections that all these social media companies, these tech companies,
Yeah,
have.
the T30.
Yeah, they were trying
Yeah.
to repeal the protections they have on it. So essentially,
Well, they've already
were trying
screwed
to-
us when he took out
essentially they were trying
net
to
neutrality or whatever it was.
they were trying to essentially destroy the protection that like Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok and all these other profiles, these like
And
platforms have.
Twitch and
Yeah, they were trying to destroy all the protections they have so that they could go at them and
they couldn't
attack
have
them.
free news stations.
And then that way we wouldn't have free news stations or anything. And so that's part of why I find it ironic that they voted no on it, because you would think they'd vote
Well, don't
yes.
you know why
just to repeal it.
he had them vote no,
Um,
or try to get them to vote yes to, or
expense,
whichever way to kill it?
expenses, because of how
No,
expensive it was.
Because he's can get them to give him money, then he can just use the money to start his own social media where nobody will complain, and it'll be all of his butt
It'll be a
lickers,
big ol', like,
and-
YouTuber.
people who want to suck his dick and shit.
But they already
and
had
then-
that.
They won't say anything against what he says. They'll just be little sheep following the dumbass fake prophet.
But they already have that social
Shit to
media
hell.
thing that they created a bit ago for that exact reason.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, because he's trying to take out all the other social medias because they talk crap on him, and people are out there trying to tell the truth on some of the stuff he's done,
Yeah.
and he just wants to stop that. But if he really wanted to stop, he'd just get off regular social media and start his own, like he's trying to do. Just freaking do it. Quit being a lazy ass.
Try to look up the exact name of the platform.
Okay, go for it.
Trump platform media.
It was like Trump Network or something. Somebody was
Parler.
talking about.
Parler, the social media platform that is now attracting millions of Trump supporters.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
it's
called
just
Parler.
complete BS.
That is not an advertisement for Parler, by the way. So
No.
if you end up jumping on Parler,
Don't.
it's all up to you. It's, all power to you. You
No
do you.
offense, we don't
You
have
do you.
Trump supporters here. After
But-
you go to hell.
But we're not, supporters of the guy. We're more free thinkers.
He's a douchebag.
And you do you. That's why the Constitution exists in the first place. You do you. But I'm not advertising Parler. I just mentioning it exists. There you go.
Well, that's.
I did research on it so I could be like, I know what it is.
Well, you already knew what it was. You just couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, I wanted to at least know the name of it.
No, I get that.
That
So that
could be
way
like
you know. Nope.
legitimacy.
Screw being legitimate. If half the people proved their legitimacy, all these deadbeat dads would actually pay their fucking child support.
Deadbeat dads pay child support.
No, they would.
My dad, what's funny is my mom and my dad's divorce is so weird because she had to pay him for stuff even though he's the one who had the kids.
You mean your dad paid her stuff?
Oh, that's right. My
Yeah.
dad paid her $200 a month.
Well, that was because
He
he
had
decided
us.
to jump out of the relationship first. And she could prove that by all the women he was cheating on her with. I could have proved the same thing on
I
my
feel like you're
ex-wife,
painting this entire different
but
picture than
until
my
you get remarried,
teenage boy
the other
mind ever
person
saw.
has to pay you. Because they're the one who was paying for all your stuff because they were actually making money. That's what it is.
It's called alimony.
Yes. And I could have had my ex-wife pay for that, and I'd have never married Teresa. And
I'm
but the
suddenly
funny part is,
realizing.
he'd have never paid it because
suddenly-
he's a deadbeat bitch.
I'm suddenly realizing.
Yes, I'm calling you out, Bethany.
I'm suddenly realizing that my mom did explain this to me at one point, and for some reason I completely spaced it on why
Yes.
she was doing it.
I've heard her tell you. I heard her tell you this like twice
And I spaced
when I was
it.
around.
And I still spaced it
Uh-huh.
because I'm good at that.
But see, I remember stuff like this because I went through a divorce, and I know this crap because I was like, I wonder if I can get her because she basically abandoned me. And I could have, but the point would have been pointless, literally, because she wouldn't have paid it because she was a deadbeat bitch. Get done, clear, straight.
I mean, she even straight up, she like freaking was stalking Teresa's Facebook, and when they got pregnant with Connor, she's like, "You can't be having Tim's kid. He's infertile, so you obviously cheated on him."
And it's like, no, bitch. You were infertile. The doctors told you that when I was still with you, and I told you that, so I told you quit saying you're pregnant because you're not pregnant, you dumb bitch.
I'm totally wondering if the crowd can even hear Amber in the background.
No, they can hear.
Her
It
like
moves.
disembodied voice.
All right, just stop talking for a second. All right, Juju, say something.
La 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 la.
See, it moved. You're good.
Okay.
They hear her. She's the ever famous. I'm not really here.
Yeah.
Well,
She's the hot bitch that's off camera.
Who needs to see my face?
once this starts, yeah, but she's usually. I have her on camera. Oh my.
Well, what's funny is they're gonna already know, like, if they bounce onto my channel, they're gonna end up seeing the video that we did on Birds of Prey. So they're gonna know what she looks like anyway.
Yeah.
So when I say hot bitch, they're gonna be like, I knew who that hot bitch is. I feel like Tim just was like, brain went.
No, you just talk about my sister, so you say what you want to say, whatever.
Oh, yeah, we watched Birds of Prey. By the way, guys, we watched it, and I wanted to do a couples review. At first, my brother was trying to jump in on it, but then he bailed because Jonah was having an issue. So
Well, because he always builds.
So me and Amber decided to do the couples video anyway, and we spent like an hour and 23 minutes, which I did not expect. It. I was telling her, I was like, before I was like, I swear it's only gonna be 10, 20 minutes, and then she proceeds to spend the entire like review or most of the review recounting the movie from beginning credits to end credits and in order, and the movie jumps around in timeline. So here I am, bringing up stuff that's ahead of the story because, you know, for me, I'm just trying to summarize it. She's like, no, you can't do it like that. You got to go in order. And so she like bounces around on the timeline in order. And to the audience, they're like, does this seem like it's bouncing around a lot? And I had to be like, by the way, if she's bouncing around a lot, that's because that's in order, literally. And so, yeah, we spent the entire like hour and 23-minute video just going over the entire story. And it's because she was obsessed with wanting to do it in order. And I'm just like, you could just recount the movie, not have to like you don't have to go through a play-by-play. And she's just like, no, I'm gonna do a play-by-play, and I'm like, okay, it's like couples review. I'm not gonna get stabbed in the dick. And so like I just
I'm
kind of,
not gonna be a dumbass.
so I just kind of let her talk a lot because, well, it was also a lot about Harley Quinn, and that's like one of her favorite ever characters as a kid and as a teenager and as an adult. So I was like not gonna step on that because I told him in the very beginning, I was like, I got Batman. I got Superman. I got all those other heroes that I tend to like. This is hers. Like, this is hers. Her piece, like, she doesn't own the character. It's not her real estate, but she's still, like, this is hers. And,
It's hers because it's part of her childhood.
right, it's part of her thing. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so I'd let her
Well,
do a
that's-
lot of the review. But, like,
I can kind of
Yeah.
be blamed for that because the Joker was the
Plus she was
bad
talking
guy. I'm like, yeah, always motherfucker.
plus she was talking a lot. I was not going to interrupt that. Like, it was hard enough to get her in front of the camera in the first place. So,
Right?
thinking I'm going to get her in the middle of, like, her being like, shine and sparkle. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. I'm going to be like, you sparkle. You do that thing. And so I just let her do it. But, like,
That's kind of what you do a lot, though. You're like, okay, here's the subject. Let's see where it goes.
yeah, kind of, yeah. It's seen with
No, since that's your forte.
Yeah, I just sort of say a couple things and then I just let you run.
And then I let you run, and then it's like, okay, but wait, we forgot about this point. You forgot something.
Yep, and then we're back.
But that's.
Then we're back on your soapbox.
And I try not to do that, but.
It just happens. It is what it is.
I accidentally trained her to do that. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's just what we do.
and it's like funny because we're not even recording ourselves, you know, throughout the day. And so there are times where I'll be talking about something, and she'll just automatically like something will tug at her light bulb in her head, and she'll be like, and I'm just like going, yeah, I was saying something. I'm gonna feel in my corner again.
We don't do it on purpose. It's just auto reaction because we never got to talk as kids because we were always so, shut up, you're not the adult. Well, I'm an adult now. I'm going to talk my ass off.
Yeah, so she's like making up for like what 16 years of lost time.
If not more.
18.
So like yeah, so that was us in our other review. You will see that in the recommended videos and in the company videos. You'll see the Birds of Prey review. So tune into that. We're gonna make more videos like that, and I'm gonna also make more individual solo reviews. And then Tim's of course gonna keep doing his thing with Dark Thandar and
Thandar.
Dark Thandar And on his Twitch stream and stuff, he's still going to do his workout videos. Because he was talking about how he was going to do workout videos today. He spaced it, I think. And so he didn't do that today.
Well, we haven't
But-
worked out, me, you, and Nephi in a while, so I
Yeah.
figured we just work out this time, and next week we do it.
Yeah, and so he wants to do this thing where he walks in with his phone and he films us doing different workouts and stuff because he wants to put that on his Twitch. So just so you know.
Or YouTube. Either
Or
way.
YouTube. Either way, he wants to go live on YouTube a couple times and do the live thing with the workouts. So you guys will
Yeah,
see
the
our
live
bulging
workouts will
muscles.
be on the YouTube. The live this will be on the Twitch.
Yeah, so you'll see that kind of how that goes. But yeah, this is us, just BSing and shooting the shit. Because how I pitched it to him weeks ago was I was like, we're just talking right now and just like bullshitting this entire time. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, it's been like 3 hours. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, 2 hours of it could have been a recording, or 3 hours of it could have been a recording. And suddenly he's like, wait, are you serious? And I was like, that's what podcasting is. It's like radio, but talk. And
I'm
he's
like, cool, then I'll just
he's like, all right, then I
live
guess
stream it on Twitch.
we'll just live stream on Twitch and you can put it on YouTube. I'm like, I literally cut it. Like, I was literally telling him how it could all be done. And then he was just in. Because, like, he was like, oh, shit, I can open my mouth and just, like, and go on a soapbox and talk about stuff and have an outlet. And I could tell that, his home life has been a little less than stellar.
Crazy.
And so he wants to be able to have an outlet. And so this is, you guys are literally his therapy. You guys are literally, a form of therapy for him to allow him to regurgitate his thoughts that he gets in his head, and then he gets to have people that are like-minded listen to him. So I'm performing
Yes,
a
the funny
service.
part
by
is
helping
just not on Twitch because they're usually falling asleep, except for this one person that's hanging out.
No, just watch. Later this week, someone's gonna be doing dishes, or someone's gonna be like doing something around the house. They're gonna turn your Twitch stream, and then they're gonna listen to your video, and they're gonna be like, "This guy is saying everything I've always thought about my life." And they're gonna like not even just have like people who are just like, "I am converting." Like they're gonna be like, "This has been me all my life, and no one ever has heard me. No one has heard me till now." And then suddenly they're gonna have followers.
And that's where the religion starts.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're gonna have your cultist following from that.
we don't talk about cults. Even though technically that's every religion that's ever existed.
Yes.
I'm a cult for Jesus. I'm a cult for, what's the other guy's name?
uh,
The Muslim a-hole.
Allah.
Yes, that guy. Well, no, because that's what I was trying to talk about earlier is, you have the two sons of,
Cain and Abel.
no, the a-hole who's, God said kill your son, then said, no, you don't have to kill your son.
Abe.
Yeah, and the illegitimate son that, from the handmaiden. And the one who's the handmaiden who left, and the one who stayed, who ended up becoming the one in the Old Testament that they followed the story in the family to Jesus.
Yeah.
The other one is the one that goes to the Muslim. The Muslims are the illegitimate kid that the wife said he could have so he could have son
Yeah.
before he had his son
Mhm.
with his wife when they were too old because God said you can have your kid with your wife.
Yeah.
Christianity is the one with the wife. Muslim is the one with the handmaiden. That's what I was trying to bring up earlier, and then I went off on my tangent like I do because I'm nuts and can't keep a goddamn thought straight.
So tell us more about that. What you think about that?
Well, it's just basically same religion, just stepson, half illegitimate kid said, "Screw you! I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna say God's behind me." While the other one's like, "No, God's been behind Dad the whole time, and since I'm his legitimate kid, we're gonna start our religion. We're just not gonna tell nobody about it," which is Judaism turned into Christianity.
So what you need to do now?
So that all three religions
You
are
need
basically
to-
the same shit.
So what you need to do now is you need to do your own edition of Bible stories and like just like have like a narration and like your own commentary of like things and be like this asshole was doing this to this asshole and then this asshole was doing this and then you just kind of like go through it because I think it'd be really funny is if
Oh,
like
me
you
reading the Bible,
Yes,
me reading the Quran,
yes,
and
your
then me
commentary.
reading the Judean.
yes your commentary track and on Bible studies and it'd be really
That'll
funny
be my
to listen
second
to it.
YouTube channel then.
And like have like people just be like, "Oh my god, I've never seen it this way before."
That'll be my second YouTube channel with the same name as my Twitch. And everybody be like, wait, he's talking about this on Twitch with the podcast. But I found the same name on YouTube, and he's still talking about some of the stuff he talked about on Twitch. But it's all religious, but it's his view. this is fucking. And I got his regular channel, which is the podcast we freaking launched on YouTube. What the fuck is this asshole doing other than running for governor in Utah?
And I'll literally just sit back and be like, look at all the shit I started. Look at the
Oh, and
buttons
then
I
my
pressed.
idea, us doing music and throwing it on Spotify and YouTube Music, and we'll start our other careers. That way, we'll become millionaires. And at the same time, while we're becoming millionaires, we'll put the money back into the system properly, so that way all the people who are in the lower class won't be lower class anymore, and everybody will be super rich.
Because I was like, turn the dial, podcast, turn the dial, your thing, turn the dial, okay. And then I was like, Bible studies, grenade!
My religion just started. I am not God, but I will freaking use that. Why not? I mean, everybody fights over everything. I'm talking about everybody becoming one. Why not? That'll be another freaking YouTube channel. By the time we're done, I'll have 3 YouTube channels. 4 if we count the music one, if we actually get that one launched too. And we'll be so damn busy. We'll be freaking running the freaking everything and still doing our damn social media because social distancing. And no offense, I want to keep that because I don't like a lot of people. Some people I like, but nah, that doesn't always work.
and what I'm thinking about is the fact that like you'll have all that stuff going on, and me, I'm gonna be working on creating my own like video audio series with like the books and stuff. I'm gonna have Amber do the chick voices because she's a chick narrator, makes sense. Plus, I want to get her involved. Like that's
And you'll
bottom
use
line.
my ideal and
Yeah.
have her, because she's a great drawer, have
the
all
whole
the characters
art and
behind you
everything,
while
yeah.
you're doing this.
Yep,
certain-
and like create like different groups of illustrations. Really, part of it is part of it is that I'm wanting to suck my own dick and wanting to have her help me suck my own dick, and so I want to get her involved. And the other part of it is it'd be really great to have females who are wanting to be empowered listening to a chick tell them the story of how to be a chick. And me, I'm not really telling anything about that because I literally just was like, hey, Amber, in this situation with a chick dealing with a chick thing, what happens? And then she goes, oh, and then she gives me like her giant like regurgitation of like her thoughts on it. And then I just go, okay. And then I start typing it into the story. It's really how it happened. It wasn't me being like, imagine being a chick in this tale. No, instead I was like, wife, I don't want to get stabbed or persecuted. What does chicks do in this position? And then she's just like, well, this
From
would
my
this happen.
point of view,
From my
this
point,
is-
this is what happened. And from my point of view, I would like literally stab his dick. And from my point of view, and I'm just like, okay, I'm literally stealing all that. And so she was, I literally asked her.
so you only wrote
Part of it, yeah.
half
I
of the story.
mean, you know, like all
No,
she
there's
did
nothing
is
wrong with
just
that.
type
She's
it out, and she gave me the rights. Yeah, she
Ghostwriter.
But yeah, she gave me the rights to the content, and I literally all I did was just be like, okay, for the stuff that isn't directly chick related, like Sam's internal battle with herself, like with her mental mania, and like all the plot heavy stuff, that's all me. But like when it comes to like how a chick
Actual
deals
girl
with
stuff.
when
Yeah.
a chick deals with the trauma and how a chick responds to it, that was me being like, honey, what
Help.
did you do in this situation? And then she's like, oh, I did. You could do this, or this could happen, and this could happen. And I'm just like, okay. I'm writing it all down. And I'm like, okay. And how did that make you feel? Okay. And how did that work? And then she's just like, yeah, blah 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 blah. And I'm mentally documenting her, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do stuff now. And then I just like slowly just be like, I'm gonna go
Put that in the book.
do stuff and things. Love you. And so yeah, that's kind of how that happened. So so a lot of the book is literally me just like being like, okay, in this particular situation, in this character, because like I wouldn't even use the names like half the time. I would tell Amber, I'd be like, okay, in this particular situation, she's like, you're talking about Orion, right? And I'm like, kind of, yeah. And she's like, okay, then just say his name. I'm like, well, he's a son, and then you got his dad, and then you got his family, and in this situation in the story, she's like, isn't that like part of the main plot? I'm like, yes, but in this situation, when you're dealing with loss of a family member, she's like, just say their fucking names. And I'm like, no. Like I would just kind of go into like their family relationships. For me, it was about roles and relationships, and then emotion. Like how would they feel in this particular part of the story? And then I would be like, okay, now he's a werewolf. Now he's a clerk at a convenience store. Now he's at this part of the role of his hero's tale. And I've just dot in all the stuff that doesn't really matter to the actual story because all that stuff is salad dressing. And I would just be like, okay.
It's the ranch, sweetheart.
Yeah, and then I would type in, okay, this is a horror story with some action and stuff, but it starts with him being a son or him being a boy, and it starts with his relationship with his mother and then with his stepbrother and then with his other actual real brother, like his blood brother, and like how they're all brothers and stuff. And then I would just kind of go into that. And that's how I did it for every single fucking character. Like with Sam, it was like, okay, this granddaughter is dealing with her mental trauma and her grandmother is going psycho nuts bonkers and wants to burn the whole world. And so I was kind of going into every single part of the story like that, where I'd start out with role, personality, emotion, and then I would dot in all the rest. And so like, and it was a giant chaotic thing that I had to like turn like a cycle clock. I was like, and there was a couple times where in the story I was actually making clock metaphors, or I was making different metaphors, and that was just me being like, you know, play on words, smartass, and being like, this story operates like a clock. It starts out with Peter's point of view, then it goes to Firima, then it goes to Sam, then it goes to Vilas, and then it goes to Orion. At first, Vilas was actually going to be the last narrator in the first act, but then I was like, don't work. Fuck. And so I was like, okay, let's remove that piece and move that here. And so that's what I'm doing, a lot of things with my hands, and they're like going off camera on this one, but then on this one, it's like completely on camera. It's kind of driving me nuts. But like, so I was doing that with a story.
This is where your hand should be because it's on both cameras. Yeah, the edge of the freaking, the edge of the tree right
Okay, so
here.
I'm learning that my hands, they should go over here, which is funny because this is where generally you would put your hands. But
Well,
this
that's
is where
like
the
me
fucking
doing
camera
stuff
is.
over here. I know it's on there,
Yeah.
but it's here, so because we had to shrink it because of
Yeah.
the green screen. It's la 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 la.
Yeah, and so he, however, he's gotten about a chapter into the book. And then my aunt got 3 into the book. She's slightly confused because I throw a bunch of characters at your face all at once. But I also, it's really just me just telling the story. Because in a hero's tale or any atypical story, when you're watching a movie, it's generally 8 characters. When you watch TV shows, it's generally 8 characters. When you're reading a book, it can be 80 characters all at once. Like Game of Thrones, 80. And they get away with it. With my book series, it's going to be around the same amount. And you'll watch as each chapter has a different cast, too. Because you'll have Vilas's cast, which is his coven, like his mom and her coven. You'll have his dad, and then you'll have his sister. And then in Orion's story, you'll have Peter, Ares, Farima, which are our main 3, which is why he's core 3 narrators. And you'll have like all these other main cast members. And then at Sam's point of view, it's her cousin, it's her brother, it's her grandmother, and then it's like some of the other characters. And each particular narrator has their main cast, and then it has their secondary cast. And each chapter has a revolving clock of how all the cogs work. Moving my hand over here. All the cogs work and how everything works in its particular machine. And so how I was able to do it was I was able to balance all of that to where if Orion's story is chapter 15 is a family story, I stay with family while also introducing another villain. And then the 16th chapter was Vilas's, so that's Vilas's family while also having our secondary cast member, which is Peter, and which is all of our other characters that we just met in chapter 14, Vilas, in which we have all the characters in one big pot. And then at the very end of the book, you have like this giant battle thing that spans like all of the different cast members all together in one big melting pot. And so it's kind of like watching one of those X-Men movies, Days of Future Past, where you're just like, holy fuck, it's everybody. Or you're watching Infinity War, holy fuck, it's everybody. And then in Endgame, holy fuck, it's everybody. It's kind of like that. Maybe I should have done it differently, where I should have had it to where like each book was like their own cast, and then the last book was like all the cast. But I was like, fuck it, let's go Heroes' route, where you have all the characters. So that's part of what I did. And then the second book is going to be a bit different because you're going to have a different sets of main cast members. And yeah, I'm figuring it out. And then you got your own robot story. You got your own cyborg story.
I've got a few, but we won't talk about that tonight because
Okay.
it's getting a little late.
But yeah, like, so this book is really the first book of a 5-book rotation.
Okay, dude.
I'm going to be calling it a rotation cycle, in which you have Peter's story dominates book 1, Firima's story dominates book 2, Orion's story dominates book 3, and then Sam's story dominates book 4, and then 5 is Violus's. And then that's the rotation. The first 5 is the rotation, and then you're going to have the second rotation, which is Peter all over again, and then the entire narrator, because I figured you have to have some sort of common flow or rhythm. So Peter, Virema, Orion, Sam, and Violus will again have their own narrative again for the second rotation. So it's going to be like the first 10 books. And then from there, I'm going to probably like go a little weirder with that and probably going to start over somewhere. But that's the idea, is that I'm going to have different books having different casts and different stuff. And one of the books, I want to introduce aliens. I'm just trying to figure out where to put it. Because you have to have balance. And before, when I wrote I wrote one of the stories, it ended up becoming enough for 3 books. And what I just described to you probably sounds like good enough for 5 books, but with the way the story works, it isn't. Like, the way the story works, the first book is for demons, the second book is for mermaids and demons and some other characters, and then the third book, I'm introducing alternate realities and the dream state, like more of it. And then the fourth book is going to be focusing only on like fairies and vampires because of the budding war with the drugs and everything. And you're going to have like a a bubbling pot of like all the other stuff that's aside. And then the 5 is just full scale war between everybody. And you're going to be like, holy fuck, the bomb just went off. And that's going to be the end of the first rotation. It's going to be kind of like Infinity War. And you're going to be like, wasn't the first book Infinity War? No, not really. First book was like the beginning. It was setting the stage for the 5th book because that's what I was doing. I was plugging in a lot of ideas, and then the second book is going to get more personal. Third book is going to get a bit more astral, and then the 4th book is going to go personal again, but this time with Sam. It's going to get very intense mentally, and then the 5th book is going to be taking all 4 of those books as like flavors, and then just like hot sauce.
That's like
And that's going to be the 5th book.
Also felt like he gets quiet and she's like, hot sauce.
So yeah, that's
you're not watching the face over here, so shut up. Love you.
So yeah, like you're gonna basically, I don't know where I'm gonna be by the time the next year happens, or the next year, but hopefully, if you ever run into this recording, yeah, if you run into this recording, by the time you run into this recording, at that point, hopefully book 5 will be done, and then you'll be like, I got what he was meaning, but when I first watched it, I was downright confused. So, it sounded chaotic as fuck, because it kind of was. But, like, I was just making sense of the madness.
Chaos is just organized anarchy.
Yes.
I swear to God, if JB posted another jump scare.
He probably did. He likes those jump scares. But yeah, we're running at 2 and almost a half hours right
yeah,
now.
I figured we'd end it here in a minute.
Yeah, so as far as this goes, when it comes to everything going on, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys for listening to our soapboxes. We appreciate you guys for listening to me jerk off about my writing stuff. We appreciate you hearing about all of our random weirdness of bloop, 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 like, you know, all my weird sound effects and stuff. I'll even have like a little timestamp in the description just for you, where I'll be like, "These are all Thomas's weird sound effects." And the very end, I'll be like, "Thomas's weird sound effects." Then credits. So you'll see like my Thomas Paxton, my channels where you can find me, or you can find me on Twitter or Facebook. And when you go to my channel, you'll end up seeing all that stuff anyway. And then you can find other people. Find Tim. Tim, go ahead and plug it. Where you
What?
Where
Mine?
Yeah.
You'll find me on YouTube at Dark Thandar. It's spelt like it sounds. I'm gonna try to put these podcasts on there when I get them from this goof.
Yep.
And I'm gonna be we're gonna try to be doing the Crazy Peas every Saturday on my Twitch, which is Carnage with a K, 6778.
Yep.
If you're on my Twitch, you already know that, but for those who are watching this on YouTube, it is KARNAGE 6778. And for those on Twitch that are rewatching this, the YouTube is DARK space THANDAR.
Yep. And so as far as the book goes, if you want to know what it's called Crimson Nightfall, : Everything Burns, the subtitle. I write under the name TPA Wolfric, T-Paw. If you go on Amazon and you go in the search bar and you just simply type in Crimson Nightfall, you'll see the really colorful cover on there. You say Crimson Nightfall, or you put in Crimson Nightfall T-Paw, or TPA Wolfric is really more what it is. You search that up, you'll be able to find it right there. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. If you have Prime, it's free. You can just use the borrow, or it's $5.99 for right now until I discount it, and then because I'm gonna be probably discounting it here next week, and then it's $15.99 for paperback. So go ahead and support if you really are interested. You'll see like the product description and all that sort of stuff. You'll be able to see everything there. We appreciate you guys for sticking around this long. If you're still around for the next if you're still around 2.5 hours in, we love you. We love you. Like everything's all great with Engravy. Thank you
And
very much.
thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you very much for everything. And
we'll put the info of when he's gonna put the book on discount in the descriptions in the YouTube videos.
Yep, we'll work on that definitely. But yeah, until next time, this has been the Crazy Piece Podcast. I'm Thomas Paxton.
I'm Tim Potter.
Have
See
a
y'all
week.
next week.
Boop.